And welcome back, everybody, to another episode number 9 of original box sets, Deadlands. We are playing the Deadlands version from the 90s, the chunky, clunky one filled with charts on charts. One attack involves 5 different dice rolls as long as you don't use spells and abilities. With us are our 3 players. We have Father Cross, played by James.
How's it going?
We have Anne McDade, played by Sarah.
Howdy, y'all.
And lastly, and most awesomely, we have Ollie, being played by Rusty.
I feel like that's a lot of extra pressure you just put me under, but hi, everybody.
So last we left off with, the group had a chance to, the train had come to a stop. There were some altercations with a piece of cargo, which was resolved, and then the group, everyone decided to have a nice little gathering on the grass and have some prayers, and then head off to see if they could find some tools because there was smoke. They arrived at a farmstead, and at the farmstead, Ollie had a chance to run back in with his old crew. The entire gang happened to be there, including the nun who helped raise him. There was a warm welcome and a greeting for the most part, as warm as the gang could give each other, as they all got a chance to say hi and find out that they were all gathered here for mostly the same reason. They had all gathered because they had received a message that Blake was not okay, and Sister Teresa had headed out to go see him. Ollie somehow lost his in the mail. He never got the message, but God foresaw the opportunity for Ollie to show up, and with him he brought Father Cross. And what a blessing Father Cross has been, as Blake has had a moment, a coming of God moment, in which he was given an option to make amends and become a better person. Throughout all of this, as everybody was having a good, heartfelt, warm moment, Anne McDade decided to do some wandering about to check out and see what happened to that cargo. Or at least I do believe you had it wasn't a premonition, you had just been wandering about, and you had noticed something in the water.
I think I was checking on over the hill to see if Father Cross and Ollie were heading back yet.
Mm-hmm. And you had noticed something in the water, and you begin following it. It looked like chemical trails oozing out from the box itself. And in the process of doing so, everywhere those brilliant rainbow-colored trails touched, everything became odd, strange, warped, corrupted. And so you decided to do the good work and smite it. Following the trail down, you came across a pond in which the fluids were culminating. And from this pond burst a creature in which you did do battle with. And in the process, you cried out for help. The only person you knew nearby that you could trust being Ollie, that's who you were calling out for. Excellent. We definitely caught back up. So, with that being said, everything looks like it's going pretty good on this end. Let's go ahead and get our chips together. Right now, Palmer took out the trail boss most recently. He's got 3,000 of its 4,000 hit points left. When the group arrives at Dodge, it will reset. So if you guys want to take a moment and...
I feel like that might be a little optimistic. Yeah, no. Soon as the group gets to Dodge, everything will be fine.
Why, Rusty, you get the impression that you've only been in 9 episodes of trying to be on this one train ride. Whatever makes you feel that number 10 won't be in Dodge?
Right? So at the start of an episode, we draw 3 more?
Yep.
Is that correct? To a maximum of 10?
I get rid of all my chips, and I draw 3 new chips. Wait.
I had a card left over from last time, too, so I threw it on the table.
Yeah, go ahead and get rid of that. I'll pick it up here in a second. Somebody's got one in a hand, too. I'm going to go ahead and take that.
Yep, I just had one up my sleeve there, I guess. So I pitched.
I'm going to shuffle those guys up. There we go.
They save from round to round, not session to session.
Yeah, it's just
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Deal myself 3. Hopefully they're all red. There we go. James is looking pretty good. Anne's got a nice solid color. And Rusty seems to be in the mix.
Yeah, I didn't go and cash any in for bounty and level much up because I didn't really roll a lot last session. I'm not sure I used a whole lot of skills. I feel like I probably could have picked up some persuade, but whatever. It's fine.
I blew through quite a few last game session.
I wasn't here for the fighting, so I was sitting on a pretty good handful of chips.
Excellent. All right. Finally got warm in my little corner of the room behind my screen. Let's see, I don't need this, so we can move that out of the way. Using a distant microphone. All right. Fajitas with chips and salsa, so that's your Easter dinner? Okay, so making sure I got everything good. Our dice roller is not centered, so please bear with me while I try to center it. Excellent. James, what did you get for your Easter dinner?
My Easter dinner will be eaten afterwards. I am making a stir fry.
Ooh. What about you, Sarah? What was our Easter dinner? Gives me a chance to reset this dice roller here.
I made my gluten-free pasta and ate it right before the session started.
And Ollie, I bet you're having... I'm sorry, Rusty. I gotta remember you have a real name.
That's fine. It's good to know where I stand. I'm just an NPC in your story, I guess.
You're just an imaginary character in Modern World.
We have not made a final decision on dinner yet.
Cool.
So far, I've just been eating on some spicy Thai chicken pizza leftovers from Friday. They last for a while. But Felicia tends to make the call on dinner on Sunday nights because I'm either busy with this game or I'm busy with the one that I run. And she just arranges for food to be delivered there towards the end. So
excellent.
It is a mystery.
All right.
Premium modification. I like that. Thanks, Erica.
I wasn't about to discuss the alternate hairstyle that you've got going on here. But fair enough.
So if you're ever gonna try and essentially shave your head, why not do it when you haven't been outside for 7 weeks anyway? Right? Literally yesterday evening was the first time I've left my apartment parking lot in a month and a half. So I was like, fuck, why not try a new haircut? What's the worst that's going to happen? It's not like I'm going to alienate anybody or, get ribbed at work on Monday here at my house. So yeah.
That's what we're here for.
That's fine.
Well, cheers to everybody. If you don't have a drink, well, I have a drink for you, and I'll drink it for you. All right, so let's get us started. Ollie, you are currently outside the ranch, beyond the edge of the porch, while you, Cody, Jeb, Dwight, along with Lorraine and Sister Teresa. She's now, at this point in time, she's in the house moving around. You guys are outside the house talking, and you had headed over to the barn to take a look at the tools. We've got the horses are outside. You guys are the sheds are open. Inside, you see that there are wood cutting tools, hammers, a variety of things, blacksmith things, anvil, stuff like that. Things that you do commonly recognize, and then a series of other tools and devices and tongs and whatnot that you have no idea what it is. There's at least 2 horses and a mule in here. Well, no, I take that back. There's a mule in here and 2 spots for horses, but you don't see the horses. Jeb was riding one earlier.
Yeah, they were on horseback instead of afoot, so it's not terribly weird. There's an empty parking spot or 2.
And there is stuff to make carts in here, as you see that there's an almost finished cart and another cart that is finished inside the shed. So somebody is taking a moment and practicing their cartwright skills. So as you are standing there and Dwight makes some more of his voracious jabs at just the situation about being there a pretty girl and stuff like that. Cody's trying to point out the tools and look through them, and that's what you guys are doing. Jeb's, of course, pointing out some of the tools. He doesn't, of course, say much as normal. And you hear a cry or voice carry across the fields. And it sounds like Miss McDade crying out your name, Ollie. First, there's just a moment, and there's decent. There's not a lot of wind that comes through this area, and then it comes across again, and it's like, I don't know, blood-curdling scream.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hours since we had any blood-curdling screams on this completely calm, tranquil train ride to Dodge. So I shouldn't be surprised. I guess we're a little overdue. So yeah, Ollie will be in the middle of, yeah, it looks like you boys have been here for a while and doing good work. And what in the hell? Sorry, sister. What in the hell is that? And then he'll kind of hold up a hand, and then he's just going to take off. You fellas hear that? And he'll take off at a trot in the direction that the screams seem to be coming from.
Jeb will give a nod with you, immediately unhitch his rifle as he's throwing himself up into the saddle of his horse. You and Jeb both make it to your saddles before anybody else can even put two and two together and start following. A third scream comes out, and Jeb makes a gesture with his left hand as you guys are following the trail. Oh, that way. And the two of you begin. I mean, he's making a beeline. He kicks his horse hard enough that the horse rears back and makes like a running half leap over the fence and into the field that you guys are running alongside. Do you want to follow suit?
I'm going to pull a quick circle on my horse first. And is Lorraine following? Like, is she on horse? Or is she still... Okay.
She's like, what?
Sister, look after Lorraine. Lorraine, look after the sister. We'll be right back. And then I will try to give myself a hop up and over that rail and follow along.
It's a fair 5 to get over that railing with the young horse that you have, so give that a shot. Let's get the first dice roll out of the way. Somebody dropped some extra bits toward our show, and I don't have that little indicator that pops up. I apologize to whoever just dropped me about 1,000 hit points off my trail boss. By the way, Erica, the name, I do believe you're the one who came up with it. Thank you. It's a good name.
That is a 6, unless there's any modifier on this borrowed horse. So I believe I will make...
You do. The horse makes a quick turn as you yell out. You give a quick spur forward, and the horse lands on all fours and then pushes quickly over, vaulting you over the low wooden fence. Good clear, hits the ground. It's a kind of a jar on you, but you've been in a saddle enough times. You've got the calluses down there to help protect the inside of your legs from such a jarring motion. If you guys have never ridden on a horse, it is an experience. It's something to do in life.
So, yeah, Ollie will head over with all due haste towards the sound of yonder blood-curdling scream.
All right. You and Jeb tear across the field, now having a straight line for the direction that he believes the sound's coming from. The field itself rises up near the end. There's a huge patch of rocks that they've cleared and put over, and as you get toward the back end, there's an opening in the fence that the two of you shoot through. The back side of the field lowers down into an area where there's a pool of water. Standing near the edge of the water, somewhat soaked, there is Anne McDade. Her back is to you at this point in time, and you can hear two horses running up, and the creature itself has, like I said, it went into the ground at this point in time, and as it's, so the creature's gone into the ground, you've called out, you've heard horses, they come over the hill. What would you like to do?
So, are we seeing kind of like a giant rabbit hole type of thing there, where it's dug down, or like what do we see of the creature?
What you see is Anne McDade in a pool of water. She's facing from where you're coming up and over this small rise, you're looking down, and the hill itself kind of like wobbles in and out around the edge of the pool, so it wasn't well built. And so she's facing into like this gully or a ravine that comes up along one side. So she's facing her from where she's facing in the water. The water goes around a corner, and so she's like in the water facing perpendicular to you.
Okay, so
do
where
you see something? No.
Yeah, that's so where it dug down, it kind of dug down underwater. So is that
Yeah, it dug
right?
into the
Okay.
area of the ground right there at the shore where there's grass and water mixed.
Okay, so we don't really see a sign of it. What kind of shape is Miss McDade in? Because I know she did about 800 wounds to that thing scattered all over its body. And I know she took a couple wounds herself. What is she covered in at this point?
Water and muck from where you're at is what you can definitely see. Black muck.
All right, so it doesn't look like blood. Not that that's necessarily better given the couple of days that we've had. But yeah, Ollie will just race on up, and the last couple steps he'll like pull back on the reins to stop his horse from going into the water, and he'll just vault out of the saddle and kind of wade in like knee deep towards her, like looking around, like, Miss McDade, what's going on? What, you all right?
I'm gonna, if you need me to roll, I'm gonna do my tail telling, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of breathless. I started running because I saw it. Remember that box? I saw it was leaking something from it, and it was tainting the water, and it was heading this way. So I took off to warn you and let you know. And right when I got here, this giant creature came launching out of the water, and it was spewing all this black stuff off of it. And I thought it had me, so I called for help, and then it just, as fast as it came, took off and dove back into the water.
Before you continue, are you currently holding your tomahawk still?
I would have tucked them into my skirt before.
We'll say it's like a superhero quick change maneuver for you at this point. So
Yeah, if possible. If not, I'll just kind of like hold them off like to the side kind of thing and like clutch at my pearls with the other hand.
do you have filchin or sleight of hand? I think it was filchin.
I doubt it, but I can roll it if you'd like.
There is a sleight of hand, and that's what you would be rolling off on. I don't know the stat it goes off of. James, help me out here.
I found it's
I
under
believe
deafness.
Yep.
Remember, rolling something you don't have a skill for, you take a -4.
So that would be a 1.
It's very evident that Miss McDade immediately tucked something behind her back. So she's got one hand behind her back and her other hand in front of her. Jeb doesn't ride into the water behind you. He kind of stops and begins looking around. He does have his rifle out, and he's looking for any kind of sign. And when you turn to look where the creature went in, dirt has pushed its way up into the hole, and so even though there is a hole there, you know where it went in, the creature's movement itself has sealed it into, or put a lot of stuff between it and you.
So it's underground somewhere now, but I can show you where the oil is hitting, or whatever's leaking off that scary box is entering the pond here.
Yeah, Ollie will start to like scramble out of the water once she says that like it vanished under the surface. He'll be like, ah! And do a little bit of a cat on a hot tin roof thing. Like, this ain't how I want to die. You know. So he'll start to scramble a few steps away, and then he'll reach a hand out for Miss McDade, and he'll give a bit of a squint as she seems to be hiding something behind her back, but also like, it's rude to ask a lady what she's hiding behind her petticoats or that sort of thing. So he won't make an issue of it just yet. But yeah, he'll offer her a hand and try to get the both of them to hustle up out of the water and back towards the relative safety of horseback.
I kind of I take his hand and step out of the water, but as he tries to lead me to the horse, I kind of shiver a little bit and go, I'll point you. It's toward the mouth of the pond where the river and the pond join up. I'll follow on foot. I don't do well with horses.
The sister's gonna whoop my ass if you're on foot and we're in saddle when we get back to the ranch. But for now, you can stay on foot if you'd rather.
Thanks, Ollie. But hurry, we gotta stop that stuff from getting any further into the water source.
Yeah, Ollie will pull. I was gonna say his rifle, but it's actually Father Cross's rifle, but he still has it. He'll pull that from the scabbard on his saddle, and kind of look to where she's pointing, and then just quietly he'll go, "Jeb, this is Miss McDade. She's from the train. Miss McDade, this is Jeb. He's from the orphanage I done grew up in."
Howdy.
Howdy, sir.
And then, we'll just kind of head in the direction where she pointed.
Okay.
Rifle at the red. And under his breath, he'll be like, the sister's here too, and a bunch of the other boys I grew up with. But we'll talk about that on the way back after we take care of this thing.
As he says that, I'll kind of pipe in and say, like, as I was coming down here, I saw the water touch like a little bunny, and it turned into something that was like a little aggressive monster. So I think we're not done with whatever was in that box yet. It's not done with us.
This damn crate ain't been nothing but trouble this whole stupid train ride. Maybe I wouldn't mind having a couple of sticks of dynamite for it. But yeah, let's go see what it's doing now.
Gone. The trail, the chemical, whatever it is. You follow the river, away from the pond. Gone. Nothing was on the water. When she points out where it went in the water, in the opening, you just see a bit of mud. Now, Miss McDade has never shown or cared to, in most part, acted in such a strange way that concerns you, but when dealing with that box earlier, that was concerning. As you follow the trail back, Anne, you don't see any of the carnage that you left behind on the side of the riverbank. You do find a bunny, but the bunny is just a bunny. There's no strange plants, no chemicals in the water at all.
Just like to go ahead and say out of character, fuck you, Max.
Okay, I can accept that.
There are going to be some nice gentlemen with white coats waiting for her in Dodge.
She'll fucking rip them in half. The coats and the gentlemen.
Yeah, nice men won't cut it with her.
So there was.
I start like jumbling over myself, like, but it was here. It was different, and where's the box? Where's the box?
Hey, Jeb, can you check for traps over on that side of the creek? And he'll kind of nod for Jeb to just go a little distance away. And then he'll ride up, like, right next to Miss McDade and lean low over the saddle and go, "Miss McDade, is there anything hiding behind your back that I need to know about?" And he'll give her the look. That is the same look he gave the spirit in the box when he was threatening to draw down on it. But yes, that will be Ollie's serious face. Ollie's face has two settings. It's casual and relaxed or absolute murder. So it'll be the serious face while he asks this kind of seemingly largely innocent question. But he'll have on those angry eyes on his Mr. Potato Head.
I think the threat of that and the memory of whatever that feeling was that she couldn't fight off, and then the circumstances like proving her wrong. She's like wondering if there's some dark force messing with her again, and then Ollie kind of half threatening her. Her eyes just are gonna fill with tears, and she's gonna the lip quivers, and she's starting to to just be overcome and frightened.
Now listen, I'm looking to take you up that trail to not only Miss Lorraine, but the nun what raised me and everything close to a brother I had in my life. And I need to know if that damn devil rock's got its hooks in you again. Tears or no tears, I need you to tell me truth now.
I understand. I don't think it does, but maybe it's best if you go back without me.
I think maybe it's best if we take you to Father Cross right about now.
She'll nod, but she's real worried.
All right, he'll straighten up and then get a little loud again. They go, I'm telling you, Miss McDade, if you don't get in this saddle, Sister Teresa's going to whoop me and Jeb both, and try to act like the whole thing was just like some light, chit-chat between them, like he was kidding the whole time, but like get loud about it so Jeb overhears this part of him just being old jovial Ollie.
Jeb will, of course, turn his horse around at this point in time as he's come back. He looks to you and looks to her and says, I'm too old to be getting a beating from my mom.
I think that's more up to her than it is to us. But
Gives a nod.
So we say, Miss McDade, you insist on walking back, or are we going to be able to charm you up into one of these saddles?
I would prefer to walk.
All right. Ollie will kick a leg up and over and climb down out of the saddle, and he will lead his horse back by the reins while walking alongside Miss McDade.
She has to be cold because she's wet right now. It's the time of year. This is kind of chilly wind and everything. But she definitely is paler. I would say she's a bit the normal color, but a bit of a wet rat as you guys are walking back. She's going to get a chance to dry off. The brown muck or the blackish muck that you saw on her definitely looks like dirt for the most part. Maybe a bit of tear in her. You were wearing a dress, if I can remember correctly.
Yep.
A bit of a tear in her dress. You have had a chance to put away your accoutrements without being noticed. And you did so in a fashion that when questioned about what's behind your back, you produce a hand that's empty. But
okay.
So
yeah, as as I would have been walking behind the horses, I would have found a opportunity to slip them away.
Oh yeah, of course. I would definitely agree. Jeb will travel along. He does not get off of his horse. He rides up alongside, and he'll go ahead and take the horse, whose name is Lady, and ride on back to the house, letting you guys know it's coming, and that might need some towels.
I will give him a polite hat tip.
All right, he rides off, giving you two a chance to have a private conversation without one of your brothers prying into your business. If you guys want to have a conversation, I'm not forcing it upon you, but it's a good opportunity to chit-chat.
I swear, Ollie, I'm not lying and I'm not crazy.
Well, you can only honestly swear to one half of that, because crazy folks don't know they're crazy. And if you was lying, you could lie about lying. So, honestly, that's a sentence don't make no sense or carry much water. And he says it kind of sadly, like he's not mad about it being a worthless sentence, but like it kind of is. But he doesn't say it with like malice in his voice, just kind of a tiredness that is sometimes visible on him. So he lets out that kind of earnest exhaustion.
So she'll she won't keep trying to fight it or argue. She'll just nervously follow along.
Okay. All right.
He'll give her a quick breakdown just on the way back. You'll see Sister Teresa. She's pretty easy to pick out of the herd. Blake's the oldest of us. This was his place. He was in a bad way. Father Cross was going to try and help him out, a little inside and out, I think. Some magic prayer and such. Who knows? Father Cross has glown before. I don't know what else he's capable of. You've already met Jeb. Looks like he come back a little different after the war, but hey, he's all right, I guess. But listen, we still got Dwight and Cody back at the house. Cody's got him a mean streak, and Dwight likes to urge that mean streak on a bit. So I made sure the sisters keep an eye on Miss Lorraine. But I'd be obliged if you kept an eye on Miss Lorraine, too, around those two.
Of course, Ollie.
I'm beginning to suspect that perhaps my adopted brothers didn't quite outgrow their mischievous streaks and become honest, law-abiding citizens, quite like old Oleander Galveston.
I'm trying so hard. It's good. We're good.
Nice. We all have our challenges at growing up or growing out of trouble, and some of us find harder challenge than others.
Yeah, and some folks don't try to challenge it at all. They just kind of lean right into whatever trouble they get. I met a couple men like that back in the Hoodoo War, and I think a couple men like that might have grown up with me at the orphanage too. So let's just keep an eye on Dwight and Cody. I don't think they'll get up to anything too bad while the sister's watching, but can't hurt to have an extra set of eyes out. And you be careful around them too. They like pretty girls, and I'm bringing them a second one in one afternoon.
She kind of, her eyes kind of widen a little frightfully. She will do the audible gulp.
I think that works. That does for the short form, I think.
Agreed. Getting back, the collection of people are outside. Lorraine and Sister Teresa are sitting on the porch and rocking chairs. A cart has been brought out, and it seems to be some mulling about between Dwight and Cody. Jeb is nowhere to be seen at this point in time, and as you guys are walking up, Sister Teresa will make a hand gesture, and Father Cross and her will stand up. Father Cross will come out of the house at this point in time, and the two of them will start walking towards you guys with towels. So you guys, Father Cross, Sister Teresa, Anne McDade, and Ollie, you guys will all meet prior to the house as Sister Teresa comes up and without, hi dear, here, let me get, and she's immediately going to give you a towel. She's going to wrap it around you. You're not as soaked from the walk back. You've dried off a little bit, but she's still offering you a towel to dry up with. Father Cross, Blake has already been up and walking about a bit, and he's given you guys permission to go ahead. Actually, he told Cody and Dwight to go ahead and get some tools together, and that you guys are going to be able to help out. So,
all right, I've told him since it's been a while since he's been sick, just take it a little bit at a time until he gets used to being back on his feet.
Sure, of course. But you, Sister Teresa, you, Ollie, and Anne are meeting up in the street at this point in time, and the whole purpose for coming out here was
to see how she was doing, and since we were warned that she's soaking wet.
No, the purpose of coming to the You're right. No, you're here to get tools for the train you've been on for 2.5 days. That's taken us 3 months. The train.
Yeah. All right. Uh,
So
as I walk up with Sister Teresa, I look at Anne and I say, "Are you okay?"
I, I think so. I'll kind of like look nervously at Ollie.
yeah, let's see. Sister Teresa, this is Miss Anna McDade. She's another wayward soul stuck on this busted train with us. Miss McDade, this here's the good sister. If I ever had a mama, it was her. Uh,
She'll
but
hit you, give a gentle slap. Oh, behave.
let's just get her dried off and cleaned up, and I'll go see about helping the fellows, maybe loading some tools on that wagon. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
I hope Ollie's been treating you well.
Of course.
He always had a mouth on him. And she'll smile.
Nervous giggle.
She'll wrap you in a towel, says, please come in. I have some dresses you might need to be able to change into, because that one's covered in mud. Looks like you fell in a hole. Are you okay? Did you hurt anything? And she'll offer you food, alcohol, hot tea, change of clothing, spiritual guidance, all like in one fell iteration.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your kindness.
Which she'll turn to Father Cross and be like, this one is so very nice. She's so very polite. It must have been a wonderful train ride you guys have been having. I'm sorry to hear you've been having some trouble with the engine.
Oh, we had quite an interesting ride. Conversations were nice. Just a small bit of trouble, but nothing that couldn't be handled.
She'll give a nod and immediately escort the two of you guys into the house, calling Lorraine afterwards. As you come into the house, you get a chance to see Blake for the first time. Large gentleman. He's standing upright. He's probably a little bit over 6 foot. He's thin from age and sickness, but he's definitely standing up. He's currently buttoning up a shirt as he's standing by the fireplace. And in his gravelly voice, he says, Father, I know you told me to take it easy, but the Lord has definitely given me strength to get up and move about. I'd hate to waste such a blessing. Figured I'd put on some nice clothes. Did you get a chance to look at those tools?
Not yet. As we were walking out, I saw Ollie and Miss McDade walking up.
I understand. Ma'am, the gentleman turns to face you. He's an older gentleman, probably in his late 40s, salt and pepper hair. He's got a very, even withered, he has a very, I would say square or straight features to him, his face and body. He takes a step forward and offers his hand to shake it.
Sir, I'll give him a little kind of curtsy as I shake his hand.
Okay. Teresa immediately finds you a place to sit by the fireplace, brings you anything you want. She pretty much is going to cater to you.
I wouldn't be opposed to a little whiskey to warm up.
She goes, yes. She turns, and she fumbles for a moment. Oh, yes, of course. And then she turns to Blake, and he gives a nod, walks over to a cabinet, opens it up, and there seems to be a collection of glass or crystal bottles, a variety of them, with a variety of honey to brown-colored, and then including amber-colored liquids in them. He begins pulling out one of the Tennessee whiskeys he has and pouring you a shot.
Whatever you recommend. Thank you for your generosity.
Alrighty then. So you guys get a chance. Blake shows kindness and generosity by offering you some alcohol and food, and it's very comforting. There's this whole place. Ollie, you head out to the tool shed, and you see a variety of blacksmithing tools that are being loaded into the cart, the ones that you had perused beforehand. Anything in particular?
I imagine is it Dwight and Cody that are loading them up, or has Jeb come back?
Jeb's not loading things up. He is off the horse. This is the first time you've seen him get off the horse and walk around a bunch, and he seems to avoid picking up anything heavy.
That's fine. He's back. That's all. Just was like a little concerned there, but Ollie's not the sort to volunteer for manual labor while others are doing it. So yeah, he'll just kind of chat with the boys. So I tell you, fellas, this train ride has not been the comfortable, high-tech experience that many a hawker and brochure has made it out to be.
Dwight gives a nod. He gives a chuckle, too. You've been eating a dictionary, haven't you?
Well, I mean, been doing a little bit of reading. There's not a lot else to do sometimes, but yeah, it has not been a restful affair. I think I'd trade one of these iron contraptions for a good cattle ride any day of the week. Maybe that one too. I guess I'm not real sure exactly what they need to fix it, but we'll be bringing everything back, so I don't know, more the merrier, I reckon.
He gives a nod. Well, when you get up into Dodge, this is of course Dwight. Get up into Dodge. There's a saloon that has ladies that hang out in it. JC is across the street. You should be able to find him up in a hotel there if you when you get up in the town. I'm sure he'd like to see you.
I reckon most saloons have some ladies hanging out in them. That's about half the appeal. But yeah, we'll see. I got some fellas I got to meet up in Dodge Way, and figure I got to look after some of these folk from the train too. But if I got some time and a little bit of cash on my hands, then maybe I'll check it out and give old JC a visit.
Who you got to meet? Dwight pokes at you. Cody's like, it's probably another woman. Not like you'll ever get to meet a woman. He's toting around two of them. Dwight says in response, and Cody goes,
Oh, it ain't a woman. I'm getting just about my fill of those on this train ride too. I already don't know what to do with the two that I done picked up like strays, but somebody's got to look after them helpless women folk on these train rides.
They give a nod. Dwight more than Cody. Cody continues to lift stuff in boxes and whatnot. Back inside, you guys have all had a chance to sit. She's brought biscuits. You guys have had a chance to eat. And Blake's asking questions of Father Cross and Anne about the train. So what happened? So, I mean, maybe think about how... So, okay, he says, so the inside of it came out of it, is what you're saying.
Essentially. Without straight up lying, I'm doing my best to omit the oddities.
You mean like the dead walking, people changing into vampire creatures, Indians attacking the train, weird spectral things, disappearing children, shit like that?
Well, the Indians attacking the train is not necessarily
Fair enough.
a strange oddity, so...
Indians attacking trains twice.
Yeah, everything else.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it's uncommon but not exceptional, as long as we stay light on the details of the dog soldier attack. We can let slip that part, just not, why and what they're after and how many times and the magic that they used and the magic that we used. Just go light on the details.
On the details. Okay. All right. He asks as... Did you see the glare you were getting? I was getting... Oh, a glare. The look. Oh.
I was giving it to Rusty when he was doing the helpless women folk thing. I was like, yes. Go on, Rusty. Dig that hole.
Smart. I've been married almost 15 years now. Glares don't scare me anymore.
Here, Rusty, we found a shovel with the other tools.
So Blake will, throughout the conversation, listening to what you have to say as far as the engine goes and whatnot, he will say, well, I'm a somewhat of handy blacksmith in my bit stronger days, and as God has given me this ability to be back up and moving around, I think, and he looks over to Sister Teresa, Jeb would stay, but maybe Cody as well, but we'd give a ride up with you guys to Dodge. JC's up in town. I wouldn't mind having a chance to see him. How much you think that train ride from here to Dodge would cost?
I think you be willing to help the train out. I don't think you'll have any trouble with a cost for the ticket.
I figure we can get up there, give you guys a hand getting the train back up and running. I've been meaning to get back in town now that I've got the chance to. Sort out some things, take some stuff up to town, plan to bring back a load of wood. That might be a good opportunity. I think God's telling me I need to take care of some important business. He gives a nod. If Sister Teresa, you don't mind giving a ride up to Dodge? She kind of stops. Ooh, I would love a train ride. He gives a nod. Father Cross, you don't see a problem with this, do you? Considering my condition.
I don't see a problem with it at all, Blake. In fact, I think it'll do you a world of good.
He gives a nod. He will stand up and say, I'm going to go let the boys know and see who wants to go with. And we're going to pick somebody to stay behind. Sister Teresa turns, looks to Anne, and says, I have a dress. It's a blue one. It might fit you if you like to change.
Thank you, ma'am. If you don't mind, I don't want to put you in any trouble.
Oh, I don't mind. You've had a heck of a ride just getting here. Engine getting all messed up. You can see she doesn't really know the words to kind of play with it for a moment. She's like, come with me. We can, I find something that'll fit you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So she will take you to the back room. Lorraine will go with you because she ain't gonna hang out with everybody else. She's already got scared by two of the guys around here. It's like, I don't want to be real. Nope. So Father Cross.
Truth.
Oh, go ahead.
No, truth.
So Father Cross, Blake will call you outside to go with him as he goes to tell everybody.
All right.
You guys step outside, and as you guys are loading tools up, Blake comes out onto the porch. Hey, boys. And when Blake, being the eldest boy, this is kind of like he was the surrogate father to that point in time as you guys were growing up. Everybody kind of stops what they're doing, turns, looks in the direction. We're going to ride up to this train and give these folks a hand. And then we're going to finish up their train ride with them up into Dodge. Get those groceries and some wood and bring it back on home. Who wants to ride up to the train and take the rest of the ride up to Dodge? And who's going to stay back here at the ranch and watch after everything? It's probably going to be at least a day. His gaze passes between them all. Dwight goes, well, shoot! Getting a chance to get up and see some pretty women up in town? I'm not going to miss that one, Blake. Cody gives a nod. Yeah, they also got some gambling houses up there. As long as the law ain't shut them down. Jeb stops for a moment. Don't want to cut you off. All right, Jeb.
No, no, it was an accidental push of the button.
Jeb will look down at the ground. All right, I'll stay back. I don't feel like a train ride. Hurts my legs too much. Blake gives a nod. Looks to Ollie. Ollie, you don't mind company, do you?
Oh, well, I'm not exactly the fella checking tickets on the train ride, and I figure if you boys are going to help us out with these tools, it only makes sense for you to ride along with those tools and try to get things fixed up all the quicker. So, sure, we'll be glad for the company, I suppose.
After you finish talking, he doesn't say anything for probably about a good 30 to 40 seconds, and he's still eyeing you. As you know, there's gears moving in his head as he's watching your reaction to everything. So he turns and looks over to you, Father Cross. If you give me a minute, I'm going to get some boots on, and we'll get the horses saddled up. We'll be out of here within an hour. Anybody hungry? And he says that to the general, the boys, to see if you guys want to eat.
Well, if you're feeling up to eating, I'm not the type to impolitely turn down a meal.
You got to come in and try some of this Tennessee whiskey. It's got honey in it.
Not sure how much that'll fill me up, but I'm not sure how much I'll mind.
Just don't let Sister Teresa catch you drinking too much.
Well, don't let Sister Teresa catch you pouring me too much.
He laughs. He seems happy at the moment. He's just like, oh, yo, boys, come on inside. Let's get something to eat. And so you do. You come inside. There's a large table. It's just mostly piecemeal stuff like biscuits and bacon and bits of fruit that have been cooked up and stuff. And so you guys got to have a chance to sit down and talk. Cody talks about some of the rough riding he did when he went out to California and back. Jeb talks about his war injury a little bit, which of course was getting grazed by a cannonball and thrown and not dying and then being able to get back up and walk again. So that's where his whole thing comes from. And so they all have a chance to talk, and it goes around the table, and Ollie, you can see it's coming. They're all talking about something big they did, something that put them here, something that's been going on between them and after leaving behind leaving Galveston. Blake's turn comes up, and he talks about riding south into Mexico and getting some Mexican gold, and how he barely got away from some of the lawmen down there. But he brought up the money up this way, figured those Mexicans deserved it, considering some of the stuff they've done in the past. So he used that money to build this ranch. And then it hits you.
Well, I just kept busy with the Mason County War for a little bit longer than was likely smart. Then I just found myself riding whatever trails I could. And there's been a few unfortunate disagreements with the lawman or two, but in our defense, we had a lawman or two on our side too. You know, growing up there in Mason County, rustling little cattle, that was just kids playing tag. You know, us ranch hands would steal a couple of their herd, and they'd steal a couple of ours. And wasn't never any malice to it. Certainly wasn't any sort of hanging offense. It was just something that the rival crews did. But I tell you, once people started dying, things got all out of hand. We had rangers on both sides. We had sheriff versus the county sheriff, splitting things down the middle. Once I started writing about it in newspapers, I just split, and well, I just ran cattle wherever else I could for a couple years. And it's more or less just about where I ended up needing this train ride to Dodge. Dying fella asked me to pass a couple things along to a couple of family members of his up in Dodge. And got a couple things to deliver to them. And then, I don't know, I guess I'll just see what cattle trail needs me on it, or I don't know, something.
Blake gives a nod. Well, Ollie, you know this ranch will have several rooms here if you need a place to put your head. I've always got work going on. Somebody needs something done, especially around here.
Ollie, you're being modest. You know, I think if it hadn't been for Ollie being on the train, more than one person would have died.
Oh, I only did for about 10 of them dog soldiers. You lot would have got to him just a little more slowly than me, that's all.
Yes, but it was the quick hand that helped.
Well, anyways, I just figured I owed the railroad for that ticket anyways. And owed you for talking to them into letting me float that ticket. So that's the least I could do.
Of course, he gets around to looking over to Miss McDade. This is Blake, of course. And he says, how'd you get mixed up with all these boys? Well, how'd you get mixed up with this one? And of course, Ollie's not too far away, so he'll reach out and like give you a tap on the shoulder.
Just as Ollie and the father said, we've, had our share of troubles on this year train ride, and Ollie's proven himself to be a trustworthy gentleman to stay close to if you're feeling unsafe. So,
Dwight, by the way. Blake's like, all right. He cuts him off in his snickering. All right. Turns, looks to Jeb. You'll ride with us up to the train, then you'll bring the horses and the cart back, and it's whatever tools they don't need to borrow. We get up to town, we'll buy a new cart, and be heading back this way. So we'll probably see you in at least a day or two. Jeb gives a nod, and everybody starts kind of meandering about, shutting up windows, gathering their supplies, heading up to go ahead and put saddles onto horses. And that's everybody's doing this. So it's like a lot of activity. This gets moved, that gets moved, rolling up blankets and whatnot. And in the process of doing so, Sister Teresa asks Anne, she says, do you have a Bible, hun?
I do, back at the train, though.
Oh, she goes, is it a normal one? Or have you seen one of these? And she pulls out a Bible that's small, about the size of your pocket. Well, or a purse. But a pocket.
Oh, no, it's so itty bitty.
She's like, and the words are tiny. It comes from a press up in Massachusetts. And she'll open it up and, the words are still readable. She's like, I give these out to as many people I can. I've got one for Ollie, and I've got an extra one if you'd like it.
Oh, thank you. That's just the kindest. I would love a little copy. Thank you. I'll keep it on me at all times.
And she hands it over to you, and she said, "Can you get this one?" Well, she'll give the one to Ollie as well as on the cart ride, but cart ride. So, she, with your help, packages up some food for the quick ride. She wants to make sure. She's asked you how many people are there, how much food should she bring, and stuff like that. Blake, of course, slides one of his whiskey bottles into his coat pocket to do the write-up. Everybody is dressed in, like, you and Sister Teresa are dressed in nice dresses. You guys look presentable. Blake is wearing a button-up shirt with a coat on it, and he's wearing a jacket. This man looks like he's about to either go to a parade or a funeral, while the rest of everybody else is in chaps and leather and jackets. So it's a nice mix. It's for this ride back to the train. And you guys do, horse-wise, cart-wise. I'm assuming Anne is going to ride in the cart or on the cart.
Say that again. You broke up.
Damn this breaking up thing. On the ride back, are you going to ride in the cart?
Yeah, the cart's fine. It's far enough behind the horses.
Father Cross, are you going to ride in the cart?
How much issue am I having with the horse?
You didn't ride a horse down here, did you?
Yes, I did.
You did. Somebody else.
It just wasn't his horse.
It wasn't
Fair
my
enough.
horse.
Go ahead and make your animal wrangling roll, and we're going to start your target number off at a 5. You should be fine. 5 is something everyone can make.
We lost most of that after animal wrangling roll.
Oh, and my gain is not bad on this microphone. It is a Discord issue at this point in time, I swear. Let me trying not to eat my microphone. Maybe this will help. So make an animal handling. Make an animal wrangling roll. We'll make it a fair of 5. Jesus, Lord and Savior of all that is blessed, no.
And okay, I'm tying it off to the wagon and getting it with Miss McDade, and I'm assuming Sister Teresa and I just blanked on the other woman's name.
Lorraine. Lorraine's riding a horse.
Yeah, she had her own pony, didn't she?
Oh, that's right. She had a pony.
And it didn't give her problems.
So Yeah, Ollie's gonna kind of laugh it off with everyone else. Listen, the father's got himself away with the word of God and all, but he has not got away with the word of horses. I figured this is him like going in a circle, just trying to get in the saddle, and then eventually giving up and just lashing it to the back of the cart.
No, he eventually gives up and he starts walking away, but he's watching out of the corner of his eye as he's walking away. The horse is following after him. And then he turns and runs back. The horse tries to get away and he grabs it by the bit and drags it over to the cart and ties it off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a show. It is really a show. You only had to get a 5 and you got it. It's fine. It's fine. It's just some people are not fortunate in their dice rolls.
What do you say, Blake? You let the father ride the range here and tend to the herd with us?
No, Ollie, I think they'd probably die or run off. You have this way with other animals, Father Cross?
I believe it's something that happened a long time ago to me. Well, I'm blessed with, as Ollie said, as God has blessed me in some ways, I've been cursed in others.
All right. So you guys head out and leave the ranch behind, disappearing into the distance behind you, shrinking. Slowly you move through the forested area and the graveled roads that crisscross in these back paths, following nearby the stream and whatnot. I'm assuming you're going to want to keep an eye out as you move around, Miss McDade?
Yes.
Yep.
Ollie is also going to kind of ride alongside Miss Lorraine for a bit, just to quietly make sure that she's okay. I know there's been an awful lot of speaking in English and not very much Francois for her. But yeah, he'll just check on her and make sure everything was all right. But yeah, he'll ride most of the time, keeping an eye out for trouble.
Okay. All right. So the only people I really consider for keeping an eye out would be Ollie and Miss McDade. So you guys can make cognition checks. Ollie would make a cognition check. Yeah, both of you make cognition. You would just do cognition checks. That'd be good. It's fine. I'll be quiet now. All right.
That's a 4 from me.
All right.
8 for me.
But let me know if it's looking to be an ambush surprise type situation, because I do have tricks.
But you got bonuses for ambushes?
I basically can't be. Remember
I
from
do know.
one of my West shenanigans.
Well, your attention is mostly taken to Miss Lorraine, who is trying to speak to you in French and in English as much as possible. She's asking you questions in French as best as she possibly can, quietly, as you guys are riding together, about how it is that you know these guys and how it is that you, because from what you get from her impression, you're not like them. Like Cody and Dwight, she won't hand gesture, she'll just talk. And of course, like during the talking of the event, Dwight will bust in and be like, "That's some mighty pretty fine words you're speaking, man. What is that?" And of course, do you interject or do you let her interject?
She's just speaking herself a little bit of French. She's from Louisiana. Her English ain't real good, so you shouldn't talk to her much.
That's fucking hilarious. That's worth a bounty chip. I love it.
Nice. I'll take it.
Which that definitely shoots Dwight down. I was like, "What the hell is fucking reading books, speaking French?" But for the most part, she really questions how you grew up with them and turned out the way you did. Do they all shoot the same way you do? She's like, it's 1,001 questions quietly. And one of the things that you're noticing is how much glistening is in her eyes as she talks to you and how much she smiles. And something about that, every time she talks and smiles and her talking in French and her smile and whatnot, you might be feeling stuff.
Making me tingly in my swimsuit parts. So that's one of Felicia's least favorite phrases, so I thought I'd share that with the internet.
Thank you all.
So Ollie will answer back in that mixture of English and French that he is picking up, because he does have French at 1 now.
Yes.
So he's picking up some. But he'll just kind of play it off. Well, now, depending on who you ask, I ain't much different from the rest of them at all. I guess it just depends on what kind of mood we're in when you run across us and how hungry we's feeling and who we're riding with at the time. I seem to have found myself riding in pretty good company lately, he'll say, giving her a bit of a smile, and then nodding towards the cart with Miss McDade and the father on it. But yeah, he'll just kind of play it off. So yeah, that'll do it.
All right. No ambush is seen by you, Sarah. Anne does not see an ambush, but what you do notice is the box is still in the ravine where you left it. You've kept your eyes out.
I don't know what you're saying that I missed.
Yeah, we lost it at the word notice. What you do notice is
literally nothing.
I'm not sure. I think maybe I should uninstall and reinstall Discord or something.
I'm not sure. I think maybe.
Yeah, like we're losing about half of what you're saying, man.
Oh, I'm hating this. I'm hating this so much.
It's like when you go into your longer descriptions, but when we're flipping back and forth between all of us, it's not happening.
I'm going to change over what the audience sees over to do that. There we go.
Maybe audio sensitivity on Discord.
That's what I'm checking out, but I want to make sure before I start changing anything that chicken. Definitely cut me off and say that if I cut out at any point in time, because if that's just I'm going to make noise, do some stuff.
Yep. After do some.
Jesus. Damn it!
You went blah blah blah, make some noise, and then it cut out.
Sensitivity.
And we're losing the green frame on Discord from you when it happens. Like most of the time, you're coming through just clear, but then when it cuts out hard, and there's not like a fade. It's like a hard cut. The little green light up in Discord doesn't light up. You name it.
It's definitely Discord. I wonder if I can see it. So I'm gonna just. Start talking a whole bunch, and then I'll see if I see it. If you guys can't see that I actually cut out at any point in time, or you do see that I cut out, let me know, cut me off. But I don't see anything changing, and man, talking this much is a lot.
So far, you're actually really good. We got all of that.
Yeah, that wasn't anything important in the game about a perception check, so we were fine.
Shit. All right, so I think... Oh, man, I just peeked out there. I think I turned off the auto-detect on Discord and solved the problem. Because fuck computers and knowing what's good and bad, right? Fucking machine learning bullshit. To my audience, thank you for putting up with that for just a moment. We're going to try to slide back. And everything is now skewed.
So where we left off, I rolled an 8 on my cognition, and you were telling me that I noticed...
You noticed the box is still in the ravine. The box in question. The box that you love so much.
I want to give it the finger.
Right.
Think outside the box.
Is Father Cross and I, are we the only ones in the cart?
Trying to think who else would be on the cart. Yeah, that's about it.
Sister Teresa have her own horse, or would she ride?
She would be in the cart.
All right, then I won't say anything to Father Cross about the box. But I watched that thing as we drive by.
You do a drive-by on the box. Fixing things. Almost done. All right. That didn't work. Let's try that. All right. One more little black box to fix. And I don't even know why I'm fixing it, because the audience is like, look, it's all about what you say, not what it looks like. And I'm just like, yeah, but I kind of, want it to look pretty too. I mean, we want to be able to see all of Ollie's head. Rusty's head.
I wasn't going to say anything that time. I was just going to see how long it took you to notice.
You are a real person. I promise you.
It's all right. The next time they have an Origins or a Gen Con and we're hanging out face to face, I'm going to sit with you at dinner sometime and call you Miss Lorraine all night. I'm gonna make it weird.
You know what? I deserve this.
We do believe in Rusty. We do believe in Rusty.
All right. So, you guys get back to the train. It's a warm welcome from the rest of the passengers. The day is definitely, it's later in the afternoon. It's like, I imagine 2 or 3-ish. It's not that far away. Didn't take that long. You're on horses. Warm welcome. The engineer, in his grumpiness, is kind of half smiling, like, oh, yes, this will help. And like, bring it over this way. Help me unload. Let's get some work done. Come on. And so the engineer immediately wants to jump on the opportunity to get some work done. Who wants to help him out?
Not it. Ollie's gonna go talk to Mr. Bixby.
I don't remember some of my skills, so I will have to look at if I am able to help in any way.
You are
But
not skilled in
was-
horses.
No. You know what? I am. First thing I'm going to do is, as we introduce the group to the engineer, after that and them saying they want to get on to work, I'm actually going to excuse myself. I'm going to say, I look at Sister Teresa and say, I'm going to go talk to the conductor and let him know that we will be having some extra passengers up until we get to Dodge.
All right.
Now, isn't that Bixby? That's why I was heading to him. Isn't he the ranking railroad guy? Or
The conductor is Mr. Lockett, and he makes calls about the train. Bixby is the top security guy. So,
I would have been going to Lockett instead of Bixby then.
all right.
I guess I thought the conductor guy died. I didn't have Lockett's name anywhere.
He has not died. He has actually avoided most conflicts. Lucky him.
That's fair. I mean, that's probably why I forgot about him. It's been about 3 months of fighting for the 2 days of railroad. So, yeah, he just kind of faded into the background for me.
Hey, he was not collecting those tickets, so he didn't need to be there.
So, yeah, it would have been Lockett, not Bixby, that I went looking for.
All right. Anne, are you going to help out with fixing the engine?
No.
I love that. I hope
She
that,
would
like,
be a distraction.
I hope that, like, a few minutes from now, they're like, oh, if only we had some way to lift up the main body of the engine. And like, oh, we don't have the crane that we need. And Miss
Let me
McDade's
use
just
my pointer finger.
just sitting in her room, filing her nails, refusing to help.
I am what I am.
Crack a nail.
Yeah, I think ooh, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to go back to my compartment, put my torn clothes away. I have stitching, so I'm gonna maybe sew them up. And then I'm also gonna stitch up the couple scratches that I got in that fight.
Okay. All right. So Anne's gone off to her quarters. Lorraine will, I guess, stick with Ollie, or do you think it should go with Anne?
I it's up to her, but I just tell everyone, I'm pretty exhausted from that long walk I took earlier today, so I'm gonna go lay down on the train and have me a bit of a nap.
All right. Well, then she would be with Ollie and Father Cross. You three catch up to Mr. Lockett. He is in the train car with some of the other passengers. He's sitting down, reading a book at this point in time.
Mr. Lockett, good afternoon to you.
He smiles, stands up, puts his book down, opens his watch, looks at it, closes it. Greetings. Good to see you guys made it back. Heard something about tools.
Yeah, we also got about 4 people that would like a ride from here to Dodge. That sound about square with the loaning of them tools? Or are you going to ask them to pay for a ticket?
Oh, I would definitely want them to make sure that either that or some sort of writ for the company to get them, make sure that they were paid for the rental of those tools. If not, a ride to Dodge sounds very, very good. Very, very good. Where are they at?
They're up at the engine right now with the engineer.
I will. Do you have their names, or should I? Do I need to go get them from them? I can go ahead and square it away right now. I have my book, and he waves a small ledger around.
That's a good idea. Why don't we all walk up there, and Ollie here can give you their names.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys take care of the bureaucratic side of getting the rest of everybody up onto the train and the train being fixed. Time is going to start trekking forward. Food, rest, reloading, taking care of yourself, repairing injuries or whatever it happens to be. There's a very good feeling about the train as, things are moving forward. The engineer's excited. Even in his injured state, he is giving people directions on what to do. I don't really have anything planned as far as that goes until closer to like the dinner time. So unless you have something you want to say, I'm just going to hit the fast forward button to dinner. 3 to 4 hours are going to just fly by on this train ride.
Yeah, Ollie is going to briefly check in on Natty the kid and just check with him that everything's okay. Kind of faux serious again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just going to kind of hang out near the engine where everybody's working because Ollie can't be surprised or ambushed, and that's the safest kind of group of people for him to keep an eye on.
Cut to 20 years later, and Natty the kid is a real thing.
I mean, I've got it capitalized in my Word document right here. It's Natty the kid.
All right. So socializing, checking in on people that you're concerned for. James, Father Cross, the next 4 hours.
I will help out as best as I can, lending a hand, taking direction from those that know what they're doing, but just giving them that extra hand, even untrained.
Okay.
To do basic stuff. But that also gives me the excuse to give them an extra person on pretty much, with it being late in the day, on guard duty in the engine area.
Okay. All right. And last, what about Anne and the next 3 hours after getting her dress fixed and taking a nap?
I will check in on Mr. Bixby and see how he's healing up.
He's asleep probably at this point in time.
I won't bother him then.
With Dr. Webb watching after him. Need to get this guy to Dodge so he can get some good rest and some better attention. But he'll be fine, is what Webb would tell you.
Well, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Fast forward to dinner time. Mr. Lockett has taken a moment to get everybody together. It's a joyous moment. Since the train's going to be fixed soon, the engineer is excited. It was a blessing that they had everything he needed. He just needed to take the time to undo and rechange things out. The engine, the boiler, both boilers will be up and running. The pressure regulator and the blah, blah, big engineering words one after the other. And at some point, somebody brings it back down. Is it going to run? When's it going to run? Give us some stuff. And he does. And so everybody begins gathering for a chance to do some dinner. Most of the people who are working on the train, which, by the way, Cody is working on the train, and Blake is helping by supervising every once in a while with tools. And that's pretty much it of your brothers that are helping out. Dwight is going around causing problems. He has found Miss Thompson and started being friendly to her. And she's a nice lady who's got a bunch of kids. As well as wander around the rest of the car to talk to people.
That lost her husband, what, yesterday?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. How is this supposed to slow him down? This man has no gumption. He has no. He doesn't. There's no dividing line in his life for what's good and bad. So, dinner is being served out on the grass next to the train where the sun's still touching and stuff like that. So everybody's gathering for dinner. It's near the actual engine, so there's no question, you can get a good sight around. Everybody's going to have a chance. It's a bunch of soup and bread, and everybody's having a good old time. And people are being called to come help and find, or to do things. How do you wish to help out with prepping for dinner other than watching people, Ollie?
I think watching people is kind of what Ollie's going to be best at for this part.
Okay.
He's nominally going to stay on lookout for trouble,
Okay.
but now that includes all threats, foreign and domestic.
Fair
So
enough.
kind of trying to keep an eye on Dwight and hoping that he doesn't start anything that other people have to finish. But yeah, Ollie's mostly going to just be keeping an eye out for people. Still standing there with Father Cross's good rifle and his own extra natural predilection for spotting surprises. He thinks he's going to just stay focused on that for now.
Make a cognition check. Anne, how are you going to help out with prepping for dinner?
I kind of volunteer myself as an extra set of hands.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever needs done, whether it's running food out to some of the travelers or helping right there in the kitchen, I'm available.
Or anything else that there's a lot of hands for food and prepping of food, so you're just going to be another one of the hands in there to help do that.
Sure. Or if they tell me that I'm just in the way, I'm happy to get out of the way.
They're not going to tell you to get out of the way. These are all a bunch of really nice folk. But, so the conductor will suggest that you play your violin.
I suppose I could do that. If you think no one's sick of hearing me at lunch.
Everybody's just like...
I get out the violin and I'll start a little tune.
Okay. Father Cross, how are you going to help with dinner?
Well, if the group working on the engine is taking a break while they're prepping for dinner, then I will actually check on Bixby. I haven't seen him since before we left
Okay.
the train initially.
Sure. And like beforehand, he is asleep still, resting. That Webb has given him something to knock his ass out. He'll wake him up here for some broth here in a bit. But he needs to get to town and get some good rest, and then get a surgeon and stuff like that. And Webb said he did a lot of good, but he still needs to have somebody help close up this wound and so on and so forth. Unless you feel that, there's something you can do.
Yeah, I'm asking Webb questions
Mm-hmm.
on how bad it was, what all exactly he had to do to help him out, and if I feel that it's still touch and go from my experiences, well, I'll take the broth in there from Webb, and I'll help Bixby out.
Okay, so you're going to try to sneak in some lay on hands or something?
Yeah, before waking him up. I know he's seen me, but it doesn't mean I want to throw that out there every now and then just for him to see.
Okay. So, make a cognition check, because you're waiting for the chance that to catch me. Oh, I got to take the broth to Webb. That way I can do this, right?
Yep.
Okay, make your
14.
cognition check. Wow, Jesus. Yeah, that's a good roll. All right. You do catch it. You do catch the opportunity when the broth is finished, and so you head back to wash after, to change, swap out with Webb so he can go eat, and you get a chance to be with Bigsby and whatnot. So everybody's away. They're gathering at the front end of the train, and you're back. Bigsby is kind of cognitive. You've been talking to him for a minute or two, and you hear some sound outside of the train, and what you see is the coal shoveler, because the grass in the area around is kind of rocky and whatnot, and you see the coal shoveler. He's walking away from the train into the bushes, and it's not twilight yet, but it is definitely getting darker.
All right. Since we do have, the heightened senses of there is danger around, I will sit in a way with the curtain pulled back that I can see that general direction, just in case, while I turn to take care of Bixby.
Sure, not a problem. All right, Ollie, as you're hanging out up top, you're hanging out watching over everything, everybody's milling about. The phrase that seems to be casting around, the engineer's like, hey, anybody seen the shoveler? Anybody seen my shoveler? Man's walked off. I need him up front. He comes over to one of the kids and says, hey, we'll say it's Natty. He'll come up to Natty and be like, son, do you know the guy who works the front engine with me? And Natty kind of gives a nod, and he says, you see where he went off to? And he takes and makes a gesture across the way, and he's like, can you go get him for me? And you watch the engineer tell Natty to go running into the semi-darkness and the bushes.
Ollie'll cut in at that. Go, hey, Natty, you go double check the rest of the train and make sure the shoveler's not there somewhere just hiding from good, honest work. I'll go take a look for him and see if he's over that way. So we'll keep Natty here on the train, and I'll go into the dusk underbrush to go take a look instead of sending the kid with the wooden rifle.
Okay. All right. And you've had a chance to get to a break point in your music playing, and at this point in time, the way things have gone, you guys are getting a little bit of a groove going. You see Ollie walking away from the train and into the brush. You're not in the middle of a playing of a song or anything, so it's not like if you stopped and people where are you stopping? And you're not eating at this point in time. You totally can follow Ollie just because what the fuck, right? Or you can.
I could. However, I think given the threats made earlier in the day and stuff, I'm more concerned with keeping my nose clean. So I think I'll put the violin aside, but I think I'm going to do a bit of singing and tale telling, some folk songs, and just keep on entertaining.
Okay. All right. So last but not least, Father Cross, as you're watching and you're hanging out with Bixby and you're feeding him, you see Ollie walking into the bush away from the train. It looks like he's heading in the same direction of the shoveler.
All right. I know Ollie's got a good sense of survival on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But with it getting darker and with dinner being served, part of me does have a sense of feeling responsible for Ollie at this point, especially with Sister Teresa and his brothers around. So I finally look at Bixby and go, feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm tired. I think I've had enough.
All right, you get some sleep, and I'll start saying a light prayer.
Okay.
Instead of one of my more inspirational prayers, in the way that I've been praying tones volume and all of that to where, get people to notice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it in more of a lower voice, monotone, just enough that it's going to help him drift off.
Sure. Quietly, you begin reciting the prayer, letting him ease into his sleep. Ollie, you're walking through the brush at this point in time, and you're looking. Make another cognition check. Now it's actually a search check because you're searching. You're actively searching for. You don't have any sense that there might be. You're not getting.
Good news, I'm awful at those. Yeah,
right.
that's a 2.
As you're not seeing what's going on, you take a few steps into the brush, and your foot squishes on something, pulling your foot back.
I swear to God, if you were out here cutting a slit trench and I just stepped in it, we're gonna have words.
This is totally about him taking a poop.
Yeah.
No, it's blood.
Yeah. Hey, shoveler!
You call
And
out.
Ollie will like shoulder the rifle, but leave it pointed low. But he's definitely a little more wary now.
Unfortunately, you're not going to have a lot of luck with that cognition check unless you drop some chips or something.
I will not. I get the feeling I might need some chips pretty bad in the not so distant future, and I will save
That's
them
fair.
for.
That's fair. All right. You walk probably about another 2 to maybe 3 yards, and you can hear, which you don't see where it's coming from, but you hear, and then followed by a variety of crunching sound.
Right. Ollie would like to drop the Kentucky windage hex into the rifle as he closes the gap to where he's finding the crunching and the chewing and the swallowing noises.
Okay.
Is the guy slipping a Kentucky windage?
You can. Yeah, let's go ahead and get those rolls out of the way.
Right. That's kind of his go-to one before he starts a fight. Any chance he gets. So that one is. That one is linked to smarts. So I make my hex sling and roll. That target number 5. So I don't get any extra cards. But now I get to draw 5 cards to try and proc Kentucky windage. So from my hex deck, I draw. Good Lord. 1 second. Roll20 just kicked me out when I went to check on my handful of cards and chips. So 1 sec. I have to relaunch the campaign.
That's fine. We will be here waiting for you.
The good news is for this one to work at the basics, I only need an ace. So any sort of extra is just that. And I have a pair of jack.
That's better than an ace.
Yeah.
So there's my pair. And there's the rest of my
2
cards.
steps up.
So Kentucky windage is -2 to shooting rolls and a -2 for each extra above the minimum. So I'll have a -6 worth of penalty that I get to ignore on any shooting rolls. And I get to reroll 1s on damage. So that lasts for 5 rounds. It's just kind of a good all-arounder. Helps with accuracy, helps with damage. It's a good one to start with. So we will, there'll be that ripple around Ollie's hands as he hears the trouble and kind of raises the gun. And then he advances forward, gun level, and looking for trouble.
All right. You get another cognition check.
That's a little bit better. How about a 14 on 1d6?
That is incredible. All right. Heightened senses, heightened moment, rifles at the ready. You take a step forward. The shoveler takes a step out of the nearby bushes. He stands up at this point in time, seeing you, and he's like, "Huh, huh."
Does he look bloody or anything?
He's got looks like something glistening on his lips, but he's like, like wiping them and stuff. Like, he's terrified, dude. You got a rifle at your hip and everything. He's got his hands up. Huh.
Heard a fuss over this way, and I'm going to give him like the stare over the sights of the rifle. What's going on? What's going on in that brush?
All right.
Because there was enough blood for me to notice that I stepped in it,
Yeah.
and now he's wiping something off his mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna not lower the gun. I'm gonna give him the look, and so let's see. Would that be like an overall roll to try and get
It would be.
the truth out of him here? All right then.
I don't have the rules for overall, so James, I'm gonna lead on you.
All right. There's my basic roll, and that 6 is kind of crap.
I do believe he gets a guts check versus it. I thought I'd written that down.
Yes,
I did. It is a guts check.
I'm gonna toss out a blue here.
Toss out a blue on this, but not on the cognition check earlier.
That's
I
because
got-
Ollie can't see crap.
It's because Ollie doesn't need to. He has supernatural ability to not ever be ambushed. So Ollie has never trained himself to learn because Ollie has never had to. He's just like, I'm lucky. I notice stuff when I need to.
There you go. That's fair. I can't disagree.
All right, so that will make it a total of 13 on an overall check.
All right, now he needs to make a guts check, and his guts are 2d6. Let's see, where do I find that at? 2d6. What I do is a slash roll 2d6 exclamation K1. Oh, 2d8. 13.
Mm,
I also had a 13.
Oh, how do we resolve this?
Not real sure.
I'm actually going to
I see.
chapter 4 because it says overall is essentially an attack,
It is.
and it's an attack of will, and I'm
The
looking.
tests of will are on page 119.
Yeah, just got to it. But I would assume it would go to the defender on
Okay.
a tie.
I know that he made a success and a raise, which would give the effect of being unnerved and distracted. And so the point would be to get this guy to be honest and open. He's got a -4 on any following actions, but his guts check gets a raise and a success at the same success and a raise at the same time. So as you blurt out to him, he responds, and in Spanish. Does Ollie speak Spanish?
He has it at a 1.
He has it at 1. It basically comes off, I was taking a poop. I was taking a poop. Estoy pooping. Sorry, I apologize. It's Spanglish more than it's Spanish.
All right. Why are you wiping your mouth then? Why'd I step in blood back yonder?
He no sé, no sé. It's the only Spanish I actually know.
Yeah.
I can help you with some French. I can't help you with Spanish.
I appreciate that.
If pooping blood has come up so far, and you're in Thomas's romantic conversations, something has been very wrong with this courtship.
Oh, we talk about poop more often than you'd think, but
I mean, that part's pretty normal. But, like, why is there enough that I just stepped in it and noticed it as it's dusk?
He's walking off, or at least he's trying to walk back toward the train.
please take your shoes off first.
I will lower the gun and, like, let him start off.
Okay.
And, like, this feels real dumb, but I'm going to go take a look, like, in the underbrush that he came out of. Because I heard crunching and chewing and like,
gurgly
not
sounds.
normal shit. So, yeah, I'm just going to go see what I find there. Even though I get the feeling I don't want to see what I find there. It feels like the responsible thing to do.
That's fair, and it's understandable. He will walk past you confused and bothered by the whole situation and head toward the train to find out what's for dinner. And you begin moving through the underbrush. Didn't you make a cognition check earlier or a search roll or something?
Yes,
You made
it
a
was
search
a 14 on a search roll was the last one.
A 14. This is where that 14 plays out. You step past where he was at, and you're kind of walking and looking through the underbrush, looking for like a, something left behind if that man really did just, whatever, he did his business. And as you step forward, you take a moment and your brain starts reeling. When you watch the shoveler walk off, he wasn't hunched over. All these encounters you've had with him, he's always been hunched over. Even when he's walking past you and stuff, he's got a crooked back. That man did not have a crooked back.
All right, then. We're just going to go ahead and give him a holler and then probably start shooting.
All right.
But I am going to give him a holler first because I don't back shoot nobody.
That's fair. You whirl around and you don't see him as you give a yell out for him. His speed has already made him through the bushes and over toward the train. That's a lot faster than you could probably pull off.
All right, then. I will pop a shot into the air and take off at a run after him.
You hear gurgling sound behind you on the ground. And something grabs your leg.
All right, then. I pop a shot in the air, start to take off after him, and then I turn around and point my rifle at something grabbing my leg.
You see the shoveler, or at least the outside of him. He's kind of flattened against the ground, and he's not all together. There doesn't seem to be anything hard inside of him holding him together. He's like a moving pile of goo. Just the skin, and he seems to be dying, and he's trying to grab a hold of you.
Well, all right, then.
a
I'm going to
guts check.
shoot him in the head a couple times. Do him a favor. Got to put that down like a horse. So, but
Get
first
off!
we'll make that. Well, no, it's just if he's already down and dying, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, I'll go fetch the Padre. It's okay.
Just
Like,
heal
no,
all
we're
those
gonna
bones
help.
back. Padre, heal those
That's
bones
it.
back.
That seems like the kind of thing that would freak a person out.
Right. I mean, I'm making the guts check. I'm saying my plan is, okay, well, I need to raise an alarm, and also I would like to put this out of its misery. So that is a 10 on the guts check.
All right, you make it. You're like, aha, There's a moment of whoa before you fire up the gun. Then you turn the gun back around to point at the whatever is left of the shoveler, and
I'll just say, we'll get it back for you.
and
Like, as in, like, vengeance. Not I'm going to
Sure.
bring back your skeleton. But, let him die knowing that he will be avenged. And yeah, like, I'm just going to put a couple bullets in his, what should be a skull.
it definitely looks like it's lumpy enough to have a brain up in there, but it's whatever. Anyways, back at the train, Father Cross, you're in the train car with Bixby at this time. You're just falling asleep. You're saying the prayer. The sun is starting to set at this point in time, and you hear. You stop your prayer. It's followed by another.
Now, did I have enough time to pull off the The miracle.
What miracle were you pulling off? The lay on hands?
Lay on hands.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and let you roll those dice. And then after you get finished, you can tell us what you're doing because we're going to slide over to Anne.
Okay, what wound level was he at?
Gosh, I think he took like 5 to the guts. All right, Anne, you too, with everyone else hanging out. You saw Ollie walk off. You're like, nope. I'm going to let him do his thing. I'm going to be good. I'm going to work on being good. And as you're hanging out with the people, you got to helping the kids get some food and whatnot. You hear silences everyone. Then there's a nearby.
How about we all get in and get to our compartments? If there's some gunshots happening, I don't think any of us should be just hanging out, having a good old time right here. Easy pickings. So let's all, and I'm going to start wrangling everyone to.
Good deal. Saving people's lives. Get yourself a chip for that. That is really good.
Oh, yay. I'm a good person.
You start. Blake pulls out a pistol. Came from over that hill. Cody, Jeb, Dwight also follow suit, drawing their weapons. Frank, who's been hanging out nearby, doesn't have his shotgun anywhere nearby. He's been stuffing his face, and he's like, oh shit, stuff happening. What the hell? So he's no help. But the brothers, on the other hand, they're moving in that direction. You begin shuffling people onto the train. James, how's that lay on hands doing?
Well, you said 5, and I want this to go off because no telling what'll happen. Since the best one I have is a red, I'll have to spin it to...
Sure. I like when people spend red. Red is my favorite chip color. Red is great. Red is good.
And that'll give me a total of a 20, which means he's...
Hit and 3 raises.
He's completely healed.
I thought that would only be 3 or 4, not 5.
No, I had to hit a 20. Or I had to hit a 13, because you said 5 wounds in that one spot.
Oh, okay.
My target number is whatever the highest wound is. So if he takes multiple wounds in various places, the highest one is the only way to heal, is for it to work.
Excellent. And all right, so that you got it.
All right.
What do you want to do?
And I'll sit back for a moment just to recover from it for a moment. And when the gun goes off, I just mumble, "No rest for the weary," and get up and start pulling out my revolvers as I'm going towards the nearest exit to get off the train. And
sure, as you had to get off the train, the shoveler steps up in your way. He's like, oh, sorry, father, sorry. And he steps past you. Gunshots on the hill. And he steps into the car.
I turn around and I shout out as loud as I can, "Who fired?"
All right, Ollie, you're at this point. You see a bunch. You can hear a lot of noise. You see people. You see your brothers are coming up the hillside at this point in time. You've just done the shoveler a good favor, and then you hear someone yell out, "Who's firing? Who's firing?"
Ollie will run towards them while waving back to the train. Shoveler ain't the shoveler. Put that sumbitch down hard.
All right.
Kill the shoveler.
James, he just stepped into the car with Bixby. And we're going to go on a short break.
Okay.
So, in a couple of minutes, we're going to take a break. Give me a chance to eat some of my stew. Give everybody else a chance to do a potty break. And we'll go from there. And we will be back in about 10 minutes. Where's that button? There it is.
See you soon, everybody.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Welcome back. I'm Max, and I'm the marshal for this show of Deadlands. This game of Deadlands on original box set. We are coming back in as Ollie is on top of a small hill covered in brush. He has just seen a most disgusting sight as one of the crew members on the train are not a whole person anymore. A cry was made out that the shoveler ain't the shoveler no more. And he has just walked past Father Cross and into the car. I forgot the name of this car. The business car.
I do not remember.
I'm trying to remember. There we go. Passenger car. That's what I've been calling it. Don't want to make any kind of... Yeah. Anyways, just to point out, as Rusty and Sarah have both pointed out, their weather's getting kind of bad. So if we lose them, we continue on, and their characters go munless, and it's all on Father Cross at that point in time. Good luck. Does anybody else, before we start, has anybody else other than myself old enough to remember the phrase munless?
I'm not sure that's entirely an age thing, but no, I don't reckon.
In the first chat rooms, when they were chat room games, if you walked away from your keyboard, or if you were playing World of Warcraft and you walked away from your keyboard and your character just stood there or ran off a cliff, people would blame it on being munless, i.e. you walked away from your computer before you could do anything and nobody could respond to you.
Okay.
Maybe it's just it was a regional thing for Florida.
No. It was all the rage.
Was it now? All right. So who wants to go next? I'll leave it up to...
I mean, Ollie just yelled, so I'm fine with somebody else being up next.
Well, considering I was waiting for the response... on hearing, do I hear that clearly?
Yes.
On his response? All right.
Yep.
Since I've got a revolver out, I turn around and I run back up in the car after him.
All right. You step back into the car. You don't see him down the main walkway. If he just jumped into this car, he magically fucking disappeared. The center aisle is just, there's nobody in it.
I'm opening doors as I start moving down the
curtains. There are curtains along either side.
I'm opening curtains.
All right, so you move to the first one. Throw the curtains up on both sides. Look both left and right, right? Is that what you're doing? How you doing it? All right. First one. Whoosh, you pull the curtains back, partially pulling down one of the curtains. No, dude. You move to the next one. You grab the hold of the curtains and you hear this sound coming from Bixby's stall. I don't call it a stall. It's not a stall.
All right. I'm immediately moving there and pulling it back with the hammer being cocked on my revolver.
All right. So you grab the curtain, yank it back, cock the hammer, point it in this side, and you see a guts check first. Let's do a guts check. Because I can try to describe it to you, but there's no point to if you just become super squeamish. A 10. Good roll, by the way. You see the shoveler. He's grabbed a hold of Bixby. He's holding on to Bixby. The mouth of the shoveler has been stretched wide open. What looks like crab legs are pulling them back, and some sort of long, scaled proboscis has come out of his mouth. The end of the proboscis is covered in teeth that act almost like a digging implement or tool of some type, and there's like ridges down the center of this and nodules on either side, and it is jabbing into Bixby's mouth. It's holding Bixby's mouth open with the shoveler is holding them open with his hands, fighting with him while trying to shove this like scaly tube down it.
Pull the trigger.
Go ahead, roll the hit.
I'm actually... Yeah.
Roll the hit.
All right.
Yeah, this thing sucks.
You think?
I don't like it.
A 10 again. Wow. Guts check's a 10. Pistol shooting's a 10. Next dice roll comes up at 10. I've got questions for you. Gotta stop cutting and pasting the same number up there.
It's nice and round.
All right. Well, that's a hit and a raise. So, considering this is kind of like a sneak attack, the critter's not going to throw out any kind of like dodge maneuvers. I'm assuming you're shooting it in the head or the guts or something.
Yep.
Not really a called shot, but just a shot. Let's go ahead and roll and see where you hit it at.
All right. Well, on the character sheet, my location toggle is already on, so I can just roll for damage, and it'll give the location automatically. I'm not going to adjust that.
Fair enough.
Nice.
And however, it did not put in the extra 2 dice.
Did it? I think it
No.
did.
No, because the Peacemaker is 3d6 already.
Ah, good point. 3d6 worth of
So-
damage.
And it's an extra 2d6. And it's... Yep. So 14 to
Alright.
its head.
And its size is 6. So 14
So-
is 2 wounds. You blast a chunk out of the front of the face. Bits of strange claws go shooting off to one side. The creature reels, pulling out its proboscis from the inside of Bixby, and looks at you. Go ahead and roll quickness, because I'm going to roll quickness. And while we're at it, does anybody else want to roll some quickness rolls to jump in here and see if you can't get Crab Face Man?
I mean, there's Bixby and Father Cross in there. I'm sure there are.
They'll be fun, right? Sounds good to me.
So yeah, let's roll some
We're
quickness. I
throwing,
get
we're throwing
it.
a little party here.
So is this straight up like normal initiative rolls?
Yep, just a quickness check.
Unless you have some sort of penalty that's applying.
All right, I have a 9, which gives me 2 cards.
So do I. So cool.
Can someone drop that formula back in the chat? It's like up scrolled hell of a far, and I'm not figuring it out.
Yeah, I got it. And I'm just putting 1d6 as an example.
Thank you.
And
Got it.
for benefit, and if any of the audience is wondering what we're talking about, it's just in our little Discord channel. And I'm pinning the message in our conversation so you can look it up quickly.
You're my hero.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta type stuff in manually in Roll20. Sometimes there's a button on a character sheet in Roll20. I find I keep making characters in Roll20 that need to modify their stuff so much that it doesn't help. Like even Ollie, kind of accidentally, can adjust so many of his numbers depending on what hex he uses, that plugging in the numbers in Roll20, I still wouldn't hardly ever get to use the macro.
Right.
And he's like the fourth character in a row that I've done that with accidentally, where I just keep making people that are doing weird stuff too often. So yeah, the formula to type it in Roll20 slows things down a little.
All right. So, and of course, the way the initiative system in this game system goes is it's a set of cards. I start calling from the highest to the lowest. Highest, of course, being aces. There is a chance that somebody might have a jack, a red jack, and if they have that, they go before everyone else, or they can hold it for something special. After that, I start calling aces, kings, queens. On a queen, the thing turns, sees you, father, and put a bullet into its face. It's all messed up. It's gurgling and spitting. And the first thing it does is it leaps at you. Barehanded. The proboscis thing has moved, so it's like in front of his face, like a really long, scaled tongue. And his head is still like gaping wide open. So he turns and leaps at you. And then in the process of doing so, the mouth thing lunges at your face as well. All right. So that's his first thing, is an unarmed attack against you.
So the thing isn't making out with Bixby anymore. It's trying to make out with Father Cross?
That's correct.
Gotcha.
All right. Father Cross.
I took an oath of celibacy.
Well,
You can take it, but it's taking it too.
It wants to French kiss you so bad. Ooh la la. All right. So, Father Cross, do you want to sacrifice one of your cards to defend yourself?
Yes, I
That'll be
will.
the highest one you have. All right, which is the 6. So you will get to make an unarmed or armed combat. So you have like fisticuffs or some skill
Yes,
like
I
that.
have brawling.
Great. Well, he's got brawling as well. Well, actually, the shoveler does not, but his stats don't matter in this. We're talking about Crabface. Crabface's stats are... So he's going to brawl with you.
I'm pretty comfortable calling it an it instead of a he at this point.
It has some good brawling stats, and it's going to brawl with you.
I'll be back in 30 seconds.
And you know what? I'm going to throw a white chip in on top of this because I want him to actually succeed. Oh, a 27. What a wonderful number. He leaps
Holy
forward, grabbing
crap.
hold of your shoulders, and with his massive strength, pushes you across the room, into the next stall over, and against the wall. Go ahead and make your unarmed roll. You're trying to get better than a 27.
Here's praying.
That's something you actually do
Nope.
quite a bit. Pray. 4. You actually don't even make a hit or success, so you don't modify anything. He needed a 5. He got a 27. He gets a +4. He gets a +2 on his unarmed attack. He's making no called shot. He gets an 18. So that means he's going to bump it up to the noggin. And so he's going to grapple you around your throat. When he makes an attack with his unarmed on the noggin, it automatically means he jabs the proboscis into your body. Yay.
Ouch.
So he's already gone from step A to step C in his plan. Or I should say third base. All right, now he's going to make a strength test. He's going to do some damage to you. And this is unmitigated by any armor you have, since it's all on the inside by the mouthy thing. And it's a headshot, so we're going to increase the die type, or the number of dice. It's not D5s, it's D6s. 2 wounds to your noggin as he shoves its spiky mouth bit down your throat.
Actually, only one. The 11 was the damage, right?
Oh, you're right. It is 1 wound to your noggin.
But even if he had gotten 12 because of a gift I have, for damage, I count as a size 7.
Ooh, that's impressive.
Only for damage.
You take a d6 in wind. All right. You are 1 round successfully into being possessed by spiky clown face thing. Let's just call it what it is. Fucking weird.
That would be a real bad day.
I'm Father Cross.
I mean, on the upside, I would get to keep this rifle for sure. So it's not a... You got to find a silver lining sometimes.
Oh,
With the
I just remembered one of my miracles. Retribution.
Mm-hmm.
Since I have Retribution, I can activate this automatically.
Mm-hmm.
It will take up my next card.
Which is the 2.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It can only be exacted for the last wound received and must be inflicted on the character or creature who dealt the wound. It's been quite a few sessions since I've used this, so... After the Blessed suffers the original wound,
Check.
he must then use his next highest action card, which will be the Deuce of Spades.
Check.
Invoke the miracle. Cards up the sleeve are always considered the next highest. If the hero... Okay, never mind. The miracle only inflicts the amount of wound levels actually received by the Blessed. Alright, so it will receive 1. The miracle transfers actual wounds, not damage. Okay, so it's not taking when... it's not suffering the same wind I am.
Not following you.
Therefore, the miracle transfers actual wound, not damage. Therefore, size difference between the Blessed and his
So you're gonna do...
foe
Mm-hmm.
neither increases nor decreases. Finally,
I get
Retribution may only be invoked once for each wound.
So you can do a wound to this critter.
To its head.
Which is fine.
It's same exact spot.
What do you need to roll, and what does it get to roll?
It rolls nothing. All I have to do is...
Is it like one of those Vemusen actions where like you sacrifice your next thing to do it?
Yes.
Cool.
Says a special target number. I'm looking for...
Well, why don't we put a pin on that one? You keep working,
Right.
and I'll go from queens to jacks, because there are 2 people here with jacks that are catching.
I have the Jack of Hearts.
I have a blackjack. Hold on. Spades.
Big Spades wins.
It does. Miss Dade is up first.
So I just got the people to safety, right?
Yes, they're loading up into the train. And Father
All right,
Cross, you did call out that he's in the train, right?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's loaded up in the train, and Father Cross suddenly yells out, "The shoveler's in the train!"
Okay, so I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing,
Okay.
but I'm going to go ahead and leave the passenger car and start heading back toward Father Cross and do that thing I like to do where I wrench the door a little extra tight so that anything trying to go back the way I'm coming from can't.
Sounds good. That's a quick strength test.
I'm sorry?
Strength test from Sarah's character.
What was she doing again?
She's
Wrenching
just
the
breaking another door.
This poor train.
Hold on. What do you mean another door? We have no proof on who did that one. Yes, that would be a strength test.
Jesus.
Or a fight, your choice.
I got a 12.
It's going to be...
That's low.
What door?
You slam the door shut, bend the handle, and haul ass through the train cars.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to be able to get away with on my turn since I'm far away, so.
Ollie.
Right. I know that the critter got like a 27 to slam the Padre like up against a wall in the train.
Mm-hmm.
Is that wall one that has a nice window in it?
Yes.
Where somebody from outside can get a good peek and
Of course.
try to take a shot at this thing?
That's a great possibility. Also, considering he ripped down the curtain when he pulled the curtain back on Bixby, and when the two of them shot back across the train, the curtain came down. As long as there's no penalties for, like, shooting through a train.
Well, I get to offset 6 point of penalties, even if there is. So I like those odds. I say blithely, without asking what the penalty might be. I'm comfortable taking this shot. So the range increment on this gun is 20.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember how that works. And I know we're also a little fuzzy on just how far away I was. So
I'm pretty sure 20 is right outside the first range increment, which would be a range increment penalty, which moves you from +5, so that makes it a 10 on the target number. So it goes from 5 to a 10. It's not actually a penalty, it's just the new target number. Penalties that you would be ignoring are the fact that Father Cross is in your way, which is a 2, shooting through the car, which is another 2. So you're looking at ignoring 4 of the penalties involved at taking this shot. But your target number is still 10.
Gotcha. I'm going to go see what a 2-point called shot can get me. Because I might as well use all 6 points of my goodness. Come on, where's it at here? Yeah, looks like it's not quite enough for gizzards. I just hate to leave it completely random. You know what? Gizzards is kind of high chest, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and make it gizzards. That's a -4. So I'll take a net -2 on this roll. And I'm going to sling in a white to help out a little bit. Putting a little bit of effort in here because I like the Padre. He's a good fella.
Okay.
So when and actually, this is a good quality rifle, isn't it, Father Cross?
So it's got a +1.
All right, so yeah, so net -1.
And I fully answered the question. I actually don't have to roll anything. It's automatic. As long as I have an action card.
So you literally sacrifice your next highest action card to do whatever damage you just took to the person that did it to you.
Right. So he's taking a 3rd wound to his head.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, and that was a 14 to hit from me.
Nice.
No need for hit location. It's just automatic gizzards. Gizzards adds 1 die to damage. Um, there we go. Well, it's actually going to be a little better because I reroll ones because of Kentucky. So those turn into 7s instead. So that'll be 12 better. So 32 points to the gizzards.
Nice. That's 5 wounds right there.
There we go.
Go ahead and roll 5d6 for wind.
22.
All right. It is definitely winded at this point in time. So I will probably be throwing out one of my last chips to give it some hits back.
Good.
All right. Another shot rings out to all involved. James, you're having difficulty seeing exactly what's going on as the thing seems to be trying to wriggle down your throat. Good news, it creates some sort of lubricant to make it move a little bit easier, not as rough. So that's a bonus, I guess.
Yeah, and what I picture is like as Ollie crests the hill and like just is able to see what's going on, he just like starts to slide down the hill just enough to like land on his butt, and then like props his elbow up on his knee and is just like lined up the shot. So he's just gonna like stay there on the hillside with the direct shot, and be working the lever and trying to line up another one.
All right. That was on Jack. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Me,
7.
8.
Another shot rings out. It's from the car. It's from literally the car in front of you. You can see through this open door, all the way to the other end of the open door. And beyond it, you can see the curtains fling about and whatnot, and you can see Father Cross and tangling with somebody.
Okay. Oh, this is right in front of everyone.
No, all the passengers are back there.
Yeah, but Father Cross is potentially likely to see it if I do anything crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and like sigh and start moving with determination and say a little prayer as I get out the tomahawks. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and do Dear God, please give me the strength to endure this situation and to find the blessings and lessons that it contains. Please give me the endurance to continue ahead and guide my thoughts, words, and actions so that I walk your path of peace and love. And
man, that's good. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, the internet's great. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of slowly quote that to myself as I kind of charge in and see what I can do to help.
As you run into the area, you see... Make a guts check.
Okay. $15.
You charge into the scene, curtains half falling down. You see the shoveler. Muscular body is crunching down on the priest, holding a hold of him. The front of his face is spread open, and some sort of like strange creature from the sea is bursting out of his face, and this long rope-like thing covered in carpus is jabbed down into the father's throat, and you can see that they're wiggling. The father looks like he's trying to fight it, but the shoveler has pried his mouth open and is holding it.
Let's go ahead and cut that proboscis right off.
All right. Your actions to run up, draw your tomahawks, so that's where we're at this point in time.
Fair.
Next action will be to do the choppy chop. All right. 7, 6.
I got a 7. Yeah, we're gonna do second verse, same as the first.
I'm going to say no shot clear because Anne now is in the way.
Hope you're happy, Miss McDade.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, heck. Anything else I got that can help out here? Not
Erica has
really.
defeated the trail boss. There are 3 chips floating out and about right now.
Dibs.
Erica, you get to choose who those 3 chips go to. You can involve one person or you can split them up. Please, let us know who you would like to see get some chips. Remember, they can use these on dice rolls as well as healing
Ollie,
and experience points.
I think Ollie, Father Cross, and Anna all could use a chip.
Oh. I'm not sure. I think by that last line that Erica just said, I think she wants to give them to me.
Well, regardless of... Oh, just give it to the marshal and then the train. All right, Erica, we'll just remember this next Sunday in a sea of spears.
I am so happy that you are doing this. I really, I thank you. You have definitely, as an audience member, contributed greatly to the name of the trail boss, as well as the chips at this point in time. I will definitely go ahead and pick them up. Let's see what we got here. 2 of them for me, and 1 of them for the train, because we all love the train. The train has been through some shit, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, Ollie's action for the turn then is going to be trying to get a clear shot, which he figures isn't going to happen from outside the train. So I am going to move towards the train, and on my way there, I'm going to drop a rapid fire hex on myself to improve my rate of fire once I get in there and am able to empty a gun into this thing in close. So 1 second as I make that hex roll.
All right, and food for thought while you were making that hex roll, running toward the train car as well, or moving quickly, are the rest of the boys. Blake yells out, Ollie, what the hell's going on? Where's he at? Who are we shooting at?
Shoveler don't look like the shoveler. Just shoot who I shoot at. And then 1 second as I draw this, it's going to be 6 cards.
All right, well, they will, of course, follow your lead. And on your next action, you will have at least 4 more guns firing at the same shot.
We will see how that works out for the home team here. All right, 1 second. Let me find an open spot on the map. I've got a pair of to activate this hex. Rapid fire requires an ace. So a pair will get me +2 to my rate of fire. So that will linger for several rounds. And I will hopefully be able to put some hurting on this thing once I get inside and get into the melee and get it clear.
Excellent.
And let me empty these cards out and clean up. And that will do it for me at... All right, that was me with 7 of diamonds.
Moving on to 6. Oh, wait, that 6 got used up. 5, 4, 3.
Me.
And me. So, who goes first? I have
3 of spades.
I have the 3 of hearts. And McDade.
Yeah, take a back seat, buddy. I'm going to eat my cookie while I kick your ass.
I don't have a cookie. That's fine. I have a piece of bread. This is rosemary bread made by my loving sister-in-law.
All right, let's chop this shit up.
Your target number is, of course, going to be a 5. Even though it's currently grappled between the 2 of them, I'm going to give you a penalty of -2 to actually get a damaging roll in. Not to hit, but it's mostly to actually succeed in damaging it because it's armored. And
Okay,
it's
so that
between
takes
two.
my +3 bonus down to +1.
Yes.
So, you know.
You know what? Even though it's her action, I'm going to do a quick interjection here. I don't like doing something that will give Max more chips, but
Don't.
I'm actually going to do something that the audience has never seen before.
Ooh.
I am going to gift a chip for Anna. And for the audience, the way this works is for me to give her one of my red chips, I have to have another red chip that is going back in the fate pot.
That means
So-
you've spent a red chip.
Nope. For this, you only get a red chip if it is going to the benefit of a roll, of a trader aptitude roll. Me doing this, you're not getting one.
That's fair.
So, you just spent 2 chips to give me 1?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like me to do with said chip?
Have fun.
I think his answer is going to be don't miss.
So does that mean I should roll 5d12 instead of 4d12?
Well, no, remember, the red chip adds on top of.
Yeah,
So
you
I should roll the 4d12 first and then roll another d12.
Yep.
Yeah, then you add that second D12 to the best of the first 4D12.
Got it. Here we go.
Boys,
Oh crap.
drum roll, please.
I got a
Holy
20.
Shit.
Before, okay, so now I'm going to roll another just d12.
Deadlands, the game of rolling dice. No, that's Shadowrun.
There's exploding dice and Earthdawn have been really fickle also.
So that would be a 24.
Right.
Sounds like you hit by several.
Yeah. Does this
Okay, so remind me, next I'm going to roll a d20.
Yes. Now you
Well,
need a
Okay,
five.
even though I called the shot?
What
No,
was her?
You called the shot for it. I mean the joining between the two of them. The
Yeah, I called it for the proboscis thing.
Yeah, no,
So
there's
there is
no
no hit location.
Okay, so I don't roll a d20. Okay, so now I do my strength plus. Well, how many d6?
just your strength.
Just strength. Okay.
And then we'll do your hatchet damage.
Any penalties to my strength?
No, but there will be a penalty to your hatchet damage. And that's because it's armored. Really, it's not that much of a penalty when you look at the way the game mechanics work out. But whatever.
That's 18
Okay.
plus my tomahawks. So what do you want me to do for that?
Your tomahawks are 2d6. Because you made a called shot, we're going to make that 3d6. But it's armored, so that reduces it from d6 to d4. So you're going to roll 3d4.
Don't do the K1 in the formula.
It's fine. We can add it all up.
Oh, sorry, too late.
14.
So it was 14 then. So 18 plus 14. So that's 32?
That's correct. All right. That's more than enough to sever this tongue thing coming out of the shoveler.
So now Father Cross can swallow it and he'll be fine.
Of course. Of course.
Give me
So-
some sugar. Helps medicine go down.
What happens next is I will let you, because Father Cross is giving you chips, and this is a very important moment. When you slice it in half, the shoveler reels backwards, but the proboscis thing starts going into Father Cross. What do you do in the response to this change in combat?
I'm gonna grab it and like pull.
All right. Then on 3 of hearts, the shoveler's going to turn and run out of the car. He's running away instead of trying to do anything else at this point in time. But you have a hold of this thing that's trying to wiggle down Father Cross's throat. I'm not going to make any dice rolls. It's just we're going to be good at that. I'm going to toss out a blue chip for the shoveler to get some points back. And I'm going to toss out another blue chip for the bug to get some points back. So you did. Jesus, that was 35. So that's 2. And then this is going to run out. So we do that. And that is, we'll just take all of those off. There we go. Okay.
Is now a bad time to start, bless me, Father, for I have sinned?
All right. And so that was 3. And I don't think anyone has any cards left this round.
Nope.
Nope. So if you have cards that you haven't tossed out, go ahead and toss them out. And let's deal ourselves some more cards. All right. Do a quickness roll, everybody.
So with a 19, you always get 1 card, and then I'll get one for 5, 10, 15.
Yes.
Is that right? And I was a point away from another one.
Yes.
I don't think it's worth a chip for 1 more card. Let's see if I regret that instantly.
How many cards did you get?
Got 4.
I think you'll be fine.
That's, this is our next quickness roll, you said?
Yep.
Jesus, I got 3d12 for the bug monster thing, and I got 2d6 for the body itself. The body got a 15. Well, the bug thing got 7. How does that work out?
Dice are fickle creatures.
I just realized I was trying to put my quickness roll into Twitch.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Doesn't work like that.
I was like, the command is right, you lie.
What's killing me is when the generic precursor symbol is different. I think every place that I type in die rolls, it's exclamation point, or it's a backslash, or it's a plus sign, and I'm just like, damn it, which one is it here? All right, which very similar but not quite the same program am I using?
All right. I've got my cards. You guys got your
I
cards?
got mine.
I got mine.
Top of the initiative with an ace. That's great.
Sorry, I don't have my cards. I get 2 again, right?
I don't. Where did you?
15.
15? No, you don't get 2. You get 4.
I get 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
You always get 1 card, and then you get 1 for 5, for 10, for 15. So it's a total of 4. Yeah, and like I said, I was right on the cusp of the next one. I'm like, oh, that's awful tempting, but
What does a red joker do?
It
Gives the game. It gives the marshal chips.
no.
I don't believe that garbage.
that's the black one.
Okay, if you do not want to go on the Joker, you can put it up your sleeve, and you can interrupt anybody else without having to make a quickness check. Because normally, if I put a card up my sleeve and I want to interrupt Max or your actions,
It's a
we
quick
have to make a quickness check to see if I actually
Red
interrupt.
Joker. Easiest description. I go whenever I want to.
Yeah,
So
let you interrupt.
theoretically, I could go and try to get my other tomahawk into its back.
Yeah, you could go after that one.
Aren't
Or
you?
yeah, or
Do you have line of sight on it right now? Because I use
It ran, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Ran out of the.
The other thing the red Joker lets you do though is you do get to draw 1 chip.
Ooh!
oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Thank you.
But yeah, basically just whenever anybody or anything acts, you get to interrupt that.
Yep. So
Okay, I'll wait then. For right now, I'll just keep
It
playing.
does not go from. It does not go into the next round though.
Gotcha.
So if you don't use it to interrupt any of us, that'll be the last action, or it just disappears on you.
aces. All right, it has an ace.
Which it? The proboscis or the body?
The body. All right. So as you and the boys are heading toward the train at this point in time, that car in particular, you witness in your eyesight the shoveler hauling butt toward the rest of the train cars, and you see he gets to the doorway, and that's what you're witnessing this at the point in time, trying to take maybe a beat as he's moving by. The boys see what you're doing as he gets to that intersection between the cars. He leaps up, grabs a hold of the edge of the roof, and remember, this man was not this agile. He grabs the edge of the roof, and not on the side that you're on, but he swings himself on top of the train. His ace is literally just to get himself on top of the train and continue crab-like crawling across the rooftop.
That ain't right.
All right. Blake, Cody, and Dwight see the man do this, and they all will fail their guts checks. And they're like, what in the tarnation? By God, did you see that man's walking backwards? That ain't natural. And to which Dwight will be like, oh man, that's some circus shit right there.
Yeah, that's fair. This is deeply unsettling.
All right, so that's on an ace is when he does that. The body itself lurches up and gets on top of the train and starts hauling ass away. Kings. No, just me? Good. The proboscis begins generating legs at the back end of it and stabs into Miss McDade's arms, and now it's trying to grapple a hold of you. Since you already have a hold on it, it doesn't actually have to do a dice roll. But what it's going to try to do is, because it can regenerate quickly, it's going to try to generate its claws and its legs and grab a hold of your hands and then try to start going the other direction. Since you're trying to pull at, it's trying to grow towards you. All right. That's on its king, and when it does this action, and now its strength test. Gotta remember to put the word roll.
Can I, play my Joker to nope that bitch?
Yes. If you want to interrupt that.
Oh, man, I only got a 2. I got 3 2s on this, too. I think I'm going to drop a white chip for this.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to play my Joker and be like, bitch, please.
How?
So what are you going to try and do?
So, I cut the thing off, grabbed the end of it, and started pulling, and then it's trying to wrap around my arm, basically, right?
Bits of tentacle are coming out, growing quickly, wrapping around your fingers and your wrists. The tentacle is hardening into carapace, and now some sort of spiky maw has started growing out of the cut part, and it has nodules that look like eyes and a ridge. And so now it's growing and thrashing and getting closer to your face.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to go ahead. I'm going to drop the tomahawks that I have and just put both of my hands on it. I'm doing push to talk, so I feel like I want to show this and I can't. Hold on, let me fix it.
Take your time. This is important.
So important. All right. So, I'm just going to grab it with both hands then and just, pull it apart.
You're probably going to have to get some leverage as you start pulling, so you might want to put your foot up on Father Cross and push him to the ground at the same time to get some pull back.
Sure.
I'm already against the wall. I don't...
That's fine. You're not going
I also don't want my foot to go through Father Cross, because let's face it, it's me.
I'm pretty sure you're coordinated enough not to kill him with your high heel shoes.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to, so it's so I'm going to go ahead and, wrap around it to get that leverage and, wrap around the other side and just, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I see that as being a plus. Now, it made a strength test to try to grapple you. I'm going to allow you to make an opposed strength test. And your objective is to rip it into 2 pieces. Its objective is to grab a hold of you. You need to beat it by a raise. Right now, that's pretty bad because all it's gotten is a 2. But I just dropped a white chip, and because I see where this is going, I'm dropping a blue chip.
Thanks, Max.
All right. If you meet the creature's strength test, you pull it out of Father Cross. If you meet it and beat it by a raise, you rip it into 2 pieces.
All right.
Ow.
Oh.
Oh, there's its white chip. That's just its white chip, so I still have a blue chip to roll and add to that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play a red chip and add to mine, too.
Okay. By the way, that blue chip was brought to you guys by Erica, the blue chip giver. Thank you, Erica. I greatly appreciate it. All right. You got a 4. Now I'm going to hit my button, and this is my blue chip. Let's see how well it does. 9. All right. So you're able to wrench it out of Father Cross. You've got it in your hands, but you're tearing at it, and you're ripping at it, and it's really strong. It's like sinuous rope at this point in time as you're pulling it apart, and it's trying to grapple and grow as quickly as possible. The other end of it is the same kind of strange crab, like mouthy thing. So there's now 2 heads, and they're flopping around trying to get at you. So as you whip it out of Father Cross, who for whatever reason is now coughing and gagging on the floor, he's really not taking this seriously at this point in time. People are dying or can die, and he's just like, whatever. But it's flipping around, and so your inability to rip it in 2 pieces. The inability to rip it in 2 pieces because now you're dealing with 2 sharp ends that are coming at you.
Okay, I don't like this, but
All right.
at least he's okay.
While we're at this point in time, I need you both to make a guts check of the current situation because it's gotten pretty scaly.
Worse. Somehow. This thing has gotten worse.
All right. All right, Father Cross, you're square because you're more dealing with the fact that you can breathe again. That was really a hard part about the whole interaction. You couldn't breathe. And you're going to be working on a penalty because this is getting worse and you don't feel that you have this under control.
I'm going to definitely start getting into the ew, 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 ew.
That was on King. Are we ready for Queen?
I got a queen.
Got a queen. Yes. All right.
Queen of Hearts from Ollie.
When you fire, the brothers are going to fire along with you, and whatever you get, if you get 1 raise, they get 1 less than you. So all 4 of them will get a hit. If you get 2 raises, then they get each a raise.
So you're aiming for a success and a raise, not just a success.
Well, the good news is I might be able to do a little something about that with raising the pot. We'll see what happens here. First off, range-wise, with the rifle, I've got a 20 range on it. What are we thinking?
I'm thinking like 7 or 8 yards away, so within short range or within that first range increment. But you also got the cover of the roof, so we're talking like a -2.
Okay. So it's within the first range increment either way. Then, yeah. Man. Like, there's really nothing magical about the Lamont, but I like to use it. We'll see what happens. I'll use the father's rifle first. So, I'm looking at a -2 for cover. Let's do Gizzard's Called Shot again for -4. So I'll be sitting on a net of +1 from the quality of the gun.
Sounds good.
So we will start with that. And my shooting is 5d12. That is a 14. So in its default difficulty here, we're talking a 5, right?
Yes.
So hit with a raise, so they will get some basic hit also. All right, and then a Gizzard Shot is going to give me an extra die of damage from Father Cross's Winchester. So that'll be 5d8 plus 2, re-rolling 1. Not a 1 to be seen, so I will take that 29 to the gizzard.
Awesome. He had spent
Wow.
all his points into the gizzard too, so he's got room to take a gizzard shot. A nice clean shot to the guts. Do you have any other dice rolls to go along with that shot?
Not for that shot, but I do have 2 more shots coming because of the in rapid fire that I did last round.
Okay.
But that's it for most people shooting a regular rate of fire 1. That's going to be it for that attack. So how many wind do I roll for this?
That is, he's a 6, so that is 4.
46. Got it.
6. This should put him back down again. Oh, yeah, there we go.
So 15 wind from him.
Okay, he's back down to 0 wind, so that sucks for him. And he's taken 4 wounds. That puts him at 6 wounds, so he will definitely be falling off the train at this point in time. The rest of the gentlemen will go ahead and open fire. Combined together, they're doing a total of 4d6 and 4d8 when they begin opening fire with their pistols and their 1 rifle. So if you
Want me to roll it, or you want to roll it?
That's all you. So even though your shot's the killing shot, they're boom, 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 right along with you.
Sure. So that's a 13 and a 16.
All right.
Or wait, is it 2 pistols? So shouldn't it be 2d6 then 2d6? Technically, for
one of the pistols, the pistol that Cody has does 2d8 in damage.
okay.
So
Well, anyways, there's 46. There's 48.
yeah. No, it wasn't 2d8. It was 1d8. Anyways, it's supposed to be 4 and 4. I'm not looking at it. And so they blam, 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 blam. I'm not worried about wound locations because your wind, you killed it. The 6 wounds to its gizzard is definitely a kill on him. He rolls off the other side of the train and into the grass. That's on Queen.
Right. How far can I move in addition to that?
Only at least a yard. You would
Okay.
have to like
I
jump
will
a
be-
cart or something.
All right. For now, I'll just move a yard in that direction because I'm trying to get to the other side of that train and put this thing down.
Can do. All right. So after Queen, it's Jack. All right. It had a Jack, but it's down. It can't do anything with that. Any Jacks with you guys?
Nope.
10, 9.
Me.
Okay.
I'm still struggling with this thing, right?
Yes.
Ugh.
So at this point in time, it succeeded in getting a strength test over on you. So now it is freed itself. It hasn't been ripped apart, and it's trying to lodge itself into your mouth. So if it makes another strength test on this round, it succeeds in doing so. That's what it's going to be doing on its next card, whenever that comes around. What would
Okay.
you like to do?
I think then I probably should sleeve this one until I face off with it, so I have a chance to face off with it, right?
You can preemptively try to like bash it against something or make a test to rip it in half. When it comes time for you to make that strength test, you'll be sacrificing one of your cards. It doesn't have to
Gotcha.
be the one up your sleeve, but it'll be the next highest card.
Okay. All right, then what I'm going to do with this card is, as I'm like wrestling with it, I'm going to kind of let myself like go prone with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to like, as I'm playing with it, I'm going to get a foot into it and just like try to kick through it, like as it's between my wrists.
Okay.
Ugh.
All
right,
right.
let's try it. So this is unarmed attack, right? So I'm just
Yes.
going to do my strength. Or my fighting?
Fighting, unarmed. It's called brawling. If you don't have it, it is definitely a strength test, if I remember correctly. Or is it deafness?
Sorry, what are we looking up?
Brawling. What stat it goes off of?
It is nimbleness.
So if you don't
It's
have
Under-
listed under. It's a specialty of fighting. It's like shooting. If you
Oh,
have
okay.
the fighting skill, you have to choose a specialization.
So then I'll just use nimbleness as a default or strength.
Nimbleness.
Well, actually, you've got fighting tomahawks, right?
Yeah, but I'm not holding them right now.
Right, but you can actually use the.
But you suffer.
Yeah, you can default to the skill for a lesser penalty than defaulting to the attribute.
Let's do it.
It is a -2 instead of a -4. Oh boy. Awesome.
8.
All right.
Yeah, good enough.
It is good enough to get your foot into it and wrench it a distance away, causing it, when it goes to make its attempt to do its action, it needs a raise now. You've made it harder for it on its action. It still has a grapple on you, but now you've got a distance and you're holding it back with your foot, struggling onto the ground. That's on 9. 8. Good. My turn.
I've got 8 of clubs.
So do I. So we go at the same time.
Yeah. I'm fine with us staggering them. Is it proboscis going, or is it
Proboscis.
I will cede the floor to proboscis because that's where the camera is right now. So we'll keep that back and forth going.
As you have your foot lodged into it, it is rolling itself into every possible way to fight and get at you. Its tentacles, its claws are stabbing into you, trying to grab a hold and get traction and pull itself up along you. It is bursting at the seams and creating more of these claws and grapplers to try to pull itself along your body to get up. So as you're holding it down, it's pulling itself up your body and you're being stabbed at the same time. So that's its action this time, to try to get closer so it can launch into you. Your mouth.
Father? Help!
He has one card? He
Yes.
has one card. Oh, that's great. He has one card.
I'm sipping on my coffee since you said it. Father Cross was taking a break there.
So to be successful, it has to, if it's already grappled you, it has to make a strength test. So we're there, and so it needs to make a raise higher. So I'm going to toss its white chip, its last white chip, out for that purpose. Where's its strength?
Can I make a new strength check?
Yep. You guys are opposing strength, and you have to use your next highest card to oppose this.
I'm actually looking that up for grappling because I think since it's using its action to grapple, I think it's initiating an opposed check, which for her I believe is automatic since it's not her turn.
No, it cost her a card because I'm reading through the description of the monster.
Ah.
I do know where you're coming from, and normal people, when they normally grapple, are completely different. Critters that are able to regenerate themselves and dig into your body totally work in a different way. It's designed
13.
It's designed to be able to make it to where it's going to win and get inside you, and that's it. So you got to sacrifice cards. What are we doing? Strength test.
I got 13.
Well, I, for one, don't think that Anna McDade, possessed by a nasty skeleton-eating bone creature, is a terrifying prospect at all. And I welcome our new tomahawk-wielding overlord. I just want the monster to know that Ollie is on its side, 100%.
He's the type of guy that when ET shows up, he's going, "Oh, I bow to you if you decide to conquer us."
I'm just saying, I've seen what she does with those axes, man. I don't want none of that.
You don't want to be in the position she's at right now, because it would be over.
Yeah, it's way better her than me.
All right. Well, congratulations. You got a 13. I got an 11, which means you succeed. But here's where, as the creature is stabbing into you, grabbing hold, wrapping its new formed tentacles and pulling itself, wraps around your throat, begins pulling in. One of its tentacles shoots out and stabs into your waistcoat pocket. And when it does so, it pulls back, and you feel the whole thing vibrating, shaking, and screaming. But you don't feel the wound itself as it's stabbed into your pocket. And it pulls itself back and begins thrashing. And suddenly it's starting to lose its grapple on you as it seems as if it's dissolving.
Thanks, God. Appreciate you. You're the best. Cool.
All right. That was on an 8. Moving forward, 6.
Ollie was also on.
You skipped 7.
You also skipped Ollie's 8.
Let's go ahead and do Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie is going to hoof it through the train at one of the juncture points, just trying to get up and over and get line of sight on the downed flesh beast. Is that like a whole action?
No. It's because the distance you have to travel is really short. By the time you get over that bit and you land, you're on the other side. It's not even 2 yards away from you on the ground trying to pick itself up.
All right, then. I will make a quick draw attack. We're going to go for a coup de grace with the Ranger's Lamotte, which isn't magical, but it's symbolic of Ollie's kind of responsibility to put stuff like this down. So, as part of the scrambling over the junction between the cars, he'll just swap the rifle over to his left hand, and then I will quick draw said Lamont. I need a 5. That's a 21. So I draw the Lamont, looking pretty cool. And I'm going to shoot this thing in the head 3 times. It's got no penalty from the headshot because I've got the last of the Kentucky Windage up, which does go out this round. But that will make this... I'm going to shoot it 3 times from the increased rate of fire. So let's do that. That's a hit.
Jeez.
And then that shot is 20 points of damage from the first one. Does that
Stop
end
it.
it?
It stops moving. Man, it stops moving.
Okay.
Yeah. That was massive.
So yep, he will. I figure, and he got a freaking 21 when he needed a 5. So the gun gets like one twirl on its way out. He slaps it forward to like thumb the hammer back, and then just kind of lines it up right where a brain should be. Executes it with a grim, not terribly cheerful Ollie look on his face. Because that thing was fucking gross, and he owed it for the shoveler.
All right. As it slams into the ground, claw-like things kind of shuffle partway out of the mouth, stop moving, and the whole body seems to start to deflate. Not completely disappear like some sort of cheesy horror movie, but just turn into a puddle of bones and crustacean-like crab claws and stringy blackness. The skin dissolves completely.
Yes, sir. That got grosser.
Father Cross, you're next with the 7. You're also muted.
Coughing. Now, I remember she had sliced it in half with a tomahawk. Did she drop that said tomahawk when it grabbed onto her?
Yes.
Or when she grabbed... Okay. Sliding down a bit, do I see the tomahawk?
Yes, you do. It's a cool looking tomahawk, metal head with feathers sticking off it and stuff, and weird tribal looking things. You know, it's really decorated. Must have been like belonged to a warrior or something.
Realizing she used this thing to slice it in half, I reach out for it, and I am casting Consecrate Armament I'm only throwing a white chip into this thing, but it is going for a specific purpose to kill the said creature in front of us.
Sure.
So in doing that, I need to initiate.
Does this take a card for you to...
Yes, this will be my 7.
Cool.
And I have succeeded. And there's my card. Okay. There's my card, and there's my chip. For that. And now, based on the description, any resistances it would have to normal weapons
Mm-hmm.
will not count against this one.
Okay.
But since that's my only card for it, if I'm allowed to, I will start raising the tomahawk.
All right.
Whether I swing it or she grabs it and swings it, doesn't matter.
All right, so you grab the tomahawk, stand up, and make a spirits check.
Yep.
Your target number is a hard 9.
Spirit check?
Yes.
Okay. I was just making sure I heard you
Spirit
right.
check to pick up the tomahawk. On 11. All right. You will take a wind in damage. Not a wind, a d6 of wind of damage while holding on to the tomahawk, and you can swing it as you need to. You'll take 4 wind. It's burning in your hand. You did not take a wound of damage. That's what the spirit check was about.
All right. Oh, I can swing it as a free action?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
It moves very fast. Like crazy stupid fast.
We find out it was never Anna all along. It was the tomahawk.
Well, I don't have fighting tomahawks, but I will use my brawling instead.
Sure. Nice.
And with it was a -2, so I have a 13.
So that's a hit and 2 raises, which it's a hit and 1 raise. Doesn't change too much. It's not really a location to hit, so he just tomahawks at the thing that you're holding on to, the proboscis, and then now you do strength damage plus 2d6.
All right.
Roll that.
Strength is an 8.
Nice.
And
that's a good roll.
2d6. So 11.
2 wounds, 4 wounds. Got it.
13.
2d6 for wind damage. Seven. 4 wounds, 7 wind, has 4 left. Okay. And that was on a 7, 6, 5.
I have a 5 of hearts.
So did the poor dead shoveler body, but he's dead, so we don't care.
I'm gonna skedaddle back into the train with my Ranger's Lamont in my hand and go checking on people, because I saw a struggle, and then I saw the struggle get worse, and then I saw the shoveler run outside. So I don't know how things are going with the Padre and Miss McDade and our man Bixby. So I'm just going to skedaddle on in there, Lamont leading the way, and see what I see.
Bixby's sleeping through the entire thing.
Bixby has been trying to figure out what to do, but there's no way he can get a clean shot in at this point in time. You see Anne is on the ground. In one hand, she's clutching this thing. The Father Cross is like taking an axe and he's like swinging around. There's a bunch of smoke coming off the axe and Father Cross. And there's this worm thing in Anne's hands.
Right. And they're all crazy grappling and stuff. I feel like trying to shoot that is probably a really bad idea. But I also feel like really bad ideas have gotten Ollie this far. So, I am, and it still lasts for the rest of the round, I'm able to ignore 6 points of penalty still here on this last round of Kentucky Windage. So while she's wrestling with it, Ollie's gonna, like, just snap off a shot. He's not gonna try and, like, carefully line up the muzzle. He's not going to let himself try to do that. He's just going to be like, man, I hope this works. And just like drop his point of aim, shoot from the hip, just try to flick shoot it as best he can.
I hope you...
I'm not a huge fan of this plan.
Well, it's all right.
I'm praying for Ollie. So is Father Cross.
It'll be okay. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, what kind of penalty have I got for shooting into a grapple?
I don't know what the penalty for shooting into a grapple is.
I'm looking it up now. I've been looking it up since he finished his plan.
Listen, Ollie's gonna either do that or he can try to stare the thing down, or I can challenge it to a quick draw contest.
But
those are the things Ollie's.
Once you step around us, find some eyes on it. Okay. And,
right?
Where are those target numbers? Here we are.
Because, like, I know the penalties for calling a shot are based on the specificity of what you are shooting at, just the size of things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, normally there's a penalty for shooting into melee, and normally shooting into grapple is even worse. Yep. I just don't know what it is.
We're going to say, man, we're just going to make this really horrible shot for you by giving it a negative 10.
Target, maybe partially concealed.
I'm going to go neg 10. Let's just make this the size of an eyeball. It's in a grapple. Sure. This should not be an easy shot.
Yeah, like this thing, it's also like a weird little wiggly thing. So, like, I'm fine. Whatever penalty you want. So that negative 10, in my case, would turn to a negative 4. I've got a +1 from the quality of the gun. So I'm looking at a -3 over. That's a 20.
Moment of silence.
Ollie's kind of good with guns.
Thank God.
Like, supernaturally so.
Will you do at least 2 wounds?
I don't know, like, what kind of... do I roll a d20 for location on this thing? Like, I don't know how that works. Okay, so just going to be a basic damage roll. I don't know if it still has a head or, what.
It's got one on both ends at this point from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Head doesn't matter. Well, there
so
we go.
3d6 re-rolling ones, 10 points.
2 wounds. That's all that it took. A quick shot. Thing in the middle. It's struggling with whatever reason. It's burning up. Father Cross, of course, is chopping at it. It's burning as well. And Father Cross seems to be on fire. And then there's a shot rings out from the Lamont, and the thing splits into 2 pieces and begins falling apart, becoming bits of ichor, black-colored ichor, crustaceous-like armaments, and bone.
Yeah, and you guys see Ollie, like, in the hallway, in the door, with the Lamont like down low as though he had just drawn it. You know, like they nestle it against the hip, like barely outside of the holster. Like he's got it down there, and his eyes are a little bit wider than they maybe should be to look cool. And he just goes, whew, because he wasn't sure that was going to work a couple different ways.
There's a moment.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm pretty frightened. Like panting and looking at the thing that blew up versus the gun that is still kind of pointed at me.
And he'll give it a quick twirl and reholster it once the thing is starting to clearly dissolve in like smoke and junk. Yep, he'll give it a quick spin and back into the cross-draw holster. And then he'll go, I got the big one outside.
I'm still staying on alert until I see there are no signs of it left, except for, the smoking ichor and stuff. And then I turn and I look at Bixby for a moment.
Yeah, he's trying to raise a gun.
I'm looking him over.
He had a terrifying moment. Go ahead and take another 1 point of wind damage, James.
All right. And I finally say, Bixby, you can put the gun down.
He will put the gun down.
Now, this may sound weird, but open your mouth and stick your tongue out.
He does so. His tongue comes out.
It is still showing signs of wounds and everything.
Yeah, his face is inside. It's all, dude. Your mouth is bleeding too. That thing's got claws.
Yeah. Right, but when we were fighting the coal shoveler, he initially didn't have any signs of wounds.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yep.
All right. And seeing that everything seems to be all right, I finally drop the tomahawk and I go, and I'll respond to what it was doing to my hand.
Well, your hand definitely looks like you've been holding on to a hot kettle.
And I will turn around and walk out, and all they're going to hear is very loudly and through the groaning of pain, God, get us to Dodge City. And then
He wanted to say something else. He totally wanted to say something else.
Yeah, they're going to hear, what the hell keeps happening to these doors? And as I'm stomping off the train car, I'm just going to go, I hate Kansas.
Miss McDade, you all right? Bixby, you all right? Everybody?
I'm still like on the ground, like looking up all wide-eyed and looking like between it and like Ollie's hip and like,
Ollie gets that a lot. Ollie will offer the lovely Miss McDade a hand up.
Actually, as he approaches her, she kind of like scrambles back a little frightened and picks herself up and kind of wipes the goo off of her.
Ollie is going to talk to Miss McDade exactly like a spooked horse. You know that because you've heard him talk to spooked horse. But it's the only way he knows to be nice. So he's just gonna like, he'll reach to help her out, and then as she jumps back, oh, whoa, he's there. You're all right, girl. You're all right.
Girl,
nothing left to be scared of. He does not offer her a carrot or a sugar cube. He hasn't got either of those, and that would be rude to lie. But he does absolutely. It's that same tone that you heard him use when Father Cross spooked his horse. He's just like, "You're all right, girl. Easy. You okay?" You want some space? I'll give you space. You all right? And it's like that same sort of like level, patient. He does have a +2 from soothing voice. But yeah, like that's the only time that he actually like talks in soothing and comforting tones, is when he's making an ammo wrangling roll. So maybe you can be insulted, but maybe you can also feel less threatened.
Not sure you should do an animal wrangling roll for this.
I mean, I've got my lasso on me if I need it,
Oh,
but
I don't think she's that kind of girl.
but most of the time that's not for calming the ladies down.
with that,
All worth it just for Max's face.
oh my goodness, we're gonna slide out of game for now. It's well past my normal end time. I have to be up bright freaking early. I had so much fun that I actually broke one of my cardinal rules, is getting to bed on time. Oh man, you guys, I had a blast tonight. 5 bounty to everybody. If you've got chips and you want to cash it in, cash them in. When I saw the creature's strength stats, the creature by itself, I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting if Anne and it get into a wrestling match, which it did. So, I mean, that was something. I was like, oh man, that could pose challenges. Thank goodness no one else did. Father Cross got lucky.
Yeah.
Bixby got lucky.
Yeah. Father Cross saved Bixby. I'm glad I took that on instead of you.
It would have taken very lucky exploding dice. Let's see, Ollie's got a strength of 3d6. So that's, about half of Miss McDade's when she isn't berserk, I think. So yeah, Ollie is built for different work.
Yep, we saw that tonight. Father Cross was as well. By the way, you'll get an extra chip for recognizing that description earlier with the creature in your pocket, by the way. You had made a faith roll earlier. That faith roll provided you Sister Teresa giving you the Bible, and therefore the Bible was in your pocket, and you recognized that. So
Yep.
All right, so you can cash in some chips. You get 5 bounty, and we're going to go ahead and do our closing stuff real quick.
What did you say I get for recognizing that?
A chip.
Oh, cool.
A chip.
Speaking of the chips, I did find something as a correction. An addendum to the maximum chips.
Can we do that at another time? I am actually short on time. I want to hear all about this stuff, but I have to get to bed soon.
Yeah. We have Discord during the week to handle other stuff, but
right.
So I will we'll pick Sarah. She's got so much stuff going on right now. Let her get her piece out there. Unless you're not ready.
No, I'm good. I was just trying to math quickly when you called on me. So, yeah, gosh, lots happening all the time. Really, we're in post-production right now. By the end of the month, we should have the trailer in our hands with the cancellation of Origins. I'm not sure where we're going to release that just yet. But we are also doing some research on maybe doing this summer an online convention that is focused on vendors and supporting our small businesses and our small nerdy businesses and our friends that are impacted by their livelihood right now, not being able to get to cons. Other than that, I'm starting a D&D stream on 2 weeks from yesterday. So that's April 25th. And that's going to be Saturdays, every Saturday, 10 to 12 Central Time. And that's, we're going to be walking through the 5e modules, starting with the starter set. So I'm actually going to be doing an unboxing and releasing that in the next couple days. I've got actors playing the characters, so that should be very roleplay heavy and a lot of fun. The goal is to bring new people into D&D, so very chaptery and episodic, but a lot of fun. So I think that's everything. I don't know. I'm probably forgetting 15 things, but that's fine.
Did you paste a link to your stuff?
Good call. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, which is now dropping into the chat.
All right. Well, she drops that into chat. Rusty's turn.
Did you almost ollie me again?
No.
Rusty.
So I've got a couple things going on. I'm about to start dropping links. I'm here the Sundays that we're not playing this game. You can find me also here on Twitch over in the Shadowcasters Network with Erica, who just betrayed us, and I will remember that for the next 7 days. I run a Sea of Spears, a Song of Ice and Fire game. So take a break from these troubling, dark times we live in and come back to Westeros, where everything is lighthearted and happy. I will share a link to the Shadowcasters Network so you can watch us live, but also we've got a lot of videos on YouTube. So if you're stuck at home in a lockdown and you want to get caught up, we have about a bajillion 4-hour episodes so you can get all caught up on the trials and tribulations of the young scions of House Nymerian. I am also currently playing in the Legends of Earth Dawn podcast, which we are in with like the line developer of Earth Dawn. I'm freelancing for Earth Dawn. There's another Earth Dawn freelancer in there. It's a really cool group of players, really cool group of people. So check that out. I'll put up a link. And I'm also playing in the Shadowrun Origins actual play that is slowly getting turned into podcasts that are available, where we're going back through over like first edition adventures. That we're updating. We're using 6th edition now, but it's still set in like 2050. So it's real old school stuff. The GMs are kind of converting it over, and it is a good time. So I will toss up links, but we got some Song of Ice and Fire, we got Earth Dawn, we got Shadowrun. Whatever era of geekiness you are into, I got you covered.
And lastly, I am Max with Original Box Set. We have a Discord. If you want to come hang out with us, this is a link to our Discord. Join in, say hi. We talk about stuff. We do stuff. We hang out. You get to meet all these people here. They're there to chat with people. It's a chance to meet other gamers as well as hook up for a game. This is a link to our... That was Rusty's link. This is a link to our website, which sometimes I actually update the calendar. The calendar is a Google Calendar. Hey, if I actually update it, then it's there. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You will find us there as well. And you can find our links and information. Hang out with us, say hi. And we do casting calls every once in a while. We bring people in from other sources. So, I mean, if you're looking for a game, we might be able to help. Some games have started on this Discord, but mostly, we conversation, talk, hang out, share funny pictures and stuff like that. It's a good time. Well, that is the end of this show. We got some credits here for you guys, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of war. There is no sickness, toil nor danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going gather